We are back. Welcome to H Hour. If you're a first time listener and you are here because of Mr. Lockwood and not because of me, if Mr. Lockwood has brought you to H Hour, I am very grateful to Mr. Lockwood for bringing you to H Hour, and I'm very, very grateful for you for being here too. But be aware, so there is an episode before this one in your podcast feed, which is called the H Hour Icebreaker. H Hour Icebreaker with Jacob Lockwood. That is about a 20-minute Q&A session with him where I asked him questions which was submitted in advance of the podcast by H Hour patrons. So I suggest you go back and listen to that one first. It's a good lead into this, or you can listen to it after this one, whatever, or you don't have to listen to it all, whatever. Just be aware it is there, it exists, and it is worth your time. H Hour patrons, they get access to the guest list, upcoming guest list. They get access to be able to submit questions for the guest. They also get access to the live feed. This recording right now, the room we're in right now, is actually being live streamed to a top tier of the patronage who can watch it live and submit live questions in the chat for him or for I as the podcast is ongoing. So check out becoming a patron of the podcast. It costs like less than the price of a coffee a month is what it costs, which is depressing because coffee's got really expensive.
When I went to Costa on the way,
Mental,
I looked. Yeah,
mental, mate.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, right, onto the point. He's here. Obviously, he's here. You're on the podcast.
I'm here, baby.
Right, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, good to see you again.
And again, after like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Nice break. and congratulations on what seems to be the rapid growth of Lockwood Smocks.
Yeah.
Don't normally go straight into let's talk about a product or a business. It's not normally about that, but I feel here like it seems to be booming, mate. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you.
There's a bunch of questions left over from the icebreaker, which we'll get into, and some of them about Lockwood Smocks. We'll do that at the end of the podcast if we haven't covered them already. But if you don't mind, obviously you're military, Coldstream Guards,
baby, blue, red, blue, all the way through.
So tell me then, I ex-military people I think are quite entrepreneurial. I say more so than the civilian equivalent, the civilian equivalent. However, right. So on that note, how did Lockwood Smocks come about? What is have you got this entrepreneurial streak within you?
Yeah. Well, just on that point that you said there, I think the entrepreneurial streak it's an infection that some people have, and I think you've either got it or you ain't, and that's certainly something I've been learning. But how did it come about? So I'm anti-tank platoon, bloody tanks. And I have been since about a year in. I actually tried to join the machine guns, and on the morning of the Carter starting, company sergeant major says, the drums don't want you, but I know where you'll fit in just fine. So I got dropped at the anti-tanks office, and they took me with open arms. But so anyone that doesn't know, anti-tanks will typically dig an OP, observation point, sit in it, watch, observe, report, strike, get the fuck, basically, pardon me language. So obviously I've spent a lot of time sat in a cold, wet, muddy hole. And, there's a company that sounds like Beeler, which are the sort of market leaders of waterproof kit. And it's sort of pretty much accepted that they don't really last very long. And around about, if you bought the newest release, that one's knackered, they'll bring another one out. And my current waterproof jacket had failed me, and I just thought, you know what, there must be something better out there. I looked, and there's your sort of Corinthians and all that, which is ridiculously expensive, but it's like wet, warm kit, like padded, so you can't. Anyway, so I just thought, you know what, I know the sort of design process from my first company, so I just thought, you know what, I've designed all my own suits that I've got. With Michael J. Taylor's shout out, who made me mess dress and all my suits. So I just thought, you know what, I'll just make something myself. But as I went on the design sort of process journey, it quickly became apparent that not many people are manufacturing in the UK. It's difficult to do.
That's pretty much for anything these days as well.
Yeah, cool. I mean, there are people out there doing it, but I was like, I said to myself, I've been serving my country for flipping nearly a decade and a half at this point, over that now. I'm not going to turn me back on it with my little side project and have my stuff manufactured overseas. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it bloody right. So it took me quite a while to figure that out. So if I'd have just taken the easy route, I'd probably be 2.5 years, 2 years old as a company right now. But I didn't. But because I didn't, the quality, it's British fabrics, it's British manufacturing. The only thing that isn't is the zips, and I'm very open about that. I'm still trying to source British zips, although I've found someone. But because I did that, when I put the first 50 out on pre-order and put a video of me with a jet washer, took it off bone dry. Now for a squaddy, that is like visual porn. Do you know what I mean? They're like looking at it and thinking, bloody hell, brilliant. So I sold almost all of them on pre-order, apart from
So
a
they were
couple
DPM,
of
were they? MTP.
MTP. Yeah. I sold a couple of them on all bar 2 smalls on pre-order. And then as soon as they went out there, people were asking, I'd love one of these in green for Civvy Street. I'd love one in black for Civvy Street. And I said, yeah, I will eventually. And then this one guy kept persistently, can you get me one in green? Can you get me one in green? I was like, well, look, mate, it'd be ridiculous. You're talking well over 400-500 quid to just have one individual sample made. Plus, I need to buy the fabrics. I was like, it's a lot of work. He's like, send me a bank details. I'll send you 500 quid right now as a deposit. And I was like, maybe I've got something here. So I just says, right, hold off. Let me get some money together. So then I got another loan out because the first one was done on a loan. Story of Lockwood.
The first one.
First batch.
Oh,
the first batch of 50. And I basically washed my face and was a little bit in the red with design fees and everything else that goes into the design process.
You didn't just copy the. Oh, you did a different design.
Just
different
the
material to
design
the
is
MTP,
completely mine. Yeah,
because it's obviously for civvy, not military application.
so the every jacket is the exact same design, but it's a design that I came up with. I took a couple of big name jackets, civvy and military, took them to a place in North London called Grade House. And I basically, as when I'm designing my suits, I sort of know, like, right, I want the pocket like this. I want it this length. I want it this angle. I want this like this. I want it a cut like that. I want the arms like this. I want da. And then they got me a sample. I changed a couple of little individual bits, and then that was the design. So the design is completely mine. Like little things like the hood being absolutely huge. So when you're crowing it at like 3 bells in the morning and the wind's coming in, you can pull it up over your helmet. And then when you're just quickly pull it back down so it doesn't pull on your head.
Hood over your helmet.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Right. Any squaddy that can stand there with their hand on the heart and say, I've never been on stag at 3 bell in the morning with sideways rain and wind and not put my hood up over my helmet is bloody lying.
I have never done that.
You're a liar. But anyway, it's like that wind down the back of your neck,
listen,
and I'm gonna get hounded for this.
If
Probably.
people want to do it, then I'm glad they've got it now and gone away.
But it is them little things, and then like the wire and the hood and all that. But the key point, apart from making myself look like an absolute wally right now, is
not at all. No.
Is that it's I thought about every single little element, the pockets being like suit ticket pockets, etc. But yeah, so I managed to get some more money together to make an order of some plain green ones. I did. So the green ones are called Churchill. The maroon ones, it was the 80th anniversary of the jumps into Arnhem, so I called that one Arnhem. And then a blue one called Hursley after the Hursley and Hambledon. It's a place down in the West Country. And they all sold out pretty much, like every single one on pre-order, and it is just spiral.
So when was that pre-order? When did that happen?
January last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did you actually go live with the first pre-order?
The very
when was your first unit sold?
Yeah. The very first unit sold was on the 23rd of September 2024, and it was a RAF Reg guy that bought it. Yeah. Bloody. So I was running the decompression out in Cyprus at the time, and I was sat there. One of the lads coming out of Iraq, he was on it by himself. And so I sat there chatting away to him, and I was telling him about it. And he says, so I showed him some videos and that. And he's, when do they go on pre-order? was like, well, technically the website is live now. I just haven't announced it. Oh, really? Where's that then? So then I sort of told him. I went away to the toilet and then my phone pinged in my pocket for the very first time. I got to hear the Shopify noise, which is like a little cash register.
That's a good noise.
Yeah. And yeah, Blake, shout out to Blake, was my very first customer. And yeah, so you know, 23rd of September 24 to now, as I was saying to you, you know, we had over 10 times growth from last January to this January, close to 20 times growth, more than 20 times growth from last February to this February. And it goes back to that, what we were talking about on the pre-chat, the icebreaker. When there's a story behind it and it's genuinely British made, you know, I hear a lot from people. I just love how it makes me feel when they're putting it on because they know it means something. You know, we've provided, when I say we, I mean me and my fiance, you know, we have provided close to, I think it's now closing in on 2 months worth of work at at the factory that I use in the East Midlands. So that's 2 months worth of wages being paid. That's 2 months worth of national insurance. That's 2 months worth of you know, shopping being paid for in the local community. That's 2 months worth of people going to the bloody pub. And that is like, when people know that that's part of the story, it makes them feel good because it's they're buying something and it's not you know, made overseas and that money is going elsewhere. And you know, just because someone's in a different part of the world doesn't mean they're less deserving, but it's charity starts at home, I think.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, and that's where I think it has really helped, and it's why it's taken off so quickly.
Yeah. No, it is, mate. It's you know, the biggest thing that brands want to do, aspire to do, any brand who, I think any brand who, you know, wants to improve sales, right?
Yeah,
One of the biggest things they want to do there is create an emotional connection between
yeah,
the customer or the potential customer and the
yeah,
brand, you know, and very few can do that authentically,
mm.
you know,
Yeah. Well, they
especially
say that's
especially if
Apple
they
got
already
so
exist and
right.
they're already big, and then you're
Yeah,
trying to retrospect. Oh, let's create a story.
yeah,
But no,
yeah,
no, no,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
no, no. So if you can do it authentically, like you were doing, it's real.
yeah,
Fucking hell, you're on.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's a good start. It's a good
yeah.
start.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you know, as you said, there's some like mad statistic, and they reckon by like 2026 or something, these founder-led brands are what's going to be winning because it's you know, these sort of faceless corporations. Yeah, I don't want to start saying names because I'll probably end up getting bloody sued at some point. But you know, it's like I mentioned, Jack Wiles RV Club, and there's plenty of people that I'm owed debt. Um, from Novell Habit, she's a lass down in the West Country as well. There's a lass called Sam that runs a company called Wearing Brook that makes the best socks ever. But it's all content driven and it's genuine British made, and
Yeah,
my God, we are on the charge. Like
but
we are.
it's what is around the corner as well. Unfortunately, is there will be a brand launch and be highly successful based on people's emotional connection to that brand and the founder or the co-founders being out there, putting themselves out there, loads of content. You go, God, these guys are incredible, and it'll be entirely fake. It'll be entirely fake. It'll be AI. That is that if that hasn't already started
Mm,
now, there are brands out there like now already, right,
yeah,
which are creating this bullshit narrative because they can, and it'll be something big behind it.
it's
It's
already
going to happen.
happening. It's
The
already
last couple of
happening.
weeks, the change I have seen, this is well, you know, quick things move now with technology and AI, where the social media is concerned.
Mm,
The last couple of weeks, I've noticed at least 3 videos on prominent account. This is on Instagram, prominent accounts on Instagram, which I've previously gone, oh, this is good. And these are just kind of accounts they put out just content about stories and
yeah.
this or that happen on particular topics or whatever.
Mm.
And I've noticed a couple, and you go, huh, and you go, oh man, that's mental. You start reading into it,
It's
and then
just
you
something
realize
slightly off.
this is AI.
Yeah,
This is a lie. This story's a lie.
yeah,
And
yeah,
but
yeah,
it has
yeah,
been so difficult to spot.
yeah.
Like it can take me from I believed it because
Mm,
the video,
yeah,
which has
yeah,
got
yeah.
people in it, looks absolutely genuine.
Mm.
And then you read the
It's
information,
only
and you look at the video and go,
slight.
"This is a lie. This isn't true.
Yeah,
This
there's
is
only
not
slight
correct."
tells that give it
Completely
away.
taken me.
Yeah,
Completely taken me.
it's
And
it's scary.
the
Isn't
average
it?
Joe blogs, and I'm not saying like I'm any like superhuman
But
here.
you're aware of it. You're in that
And
space.
where
You're working in that.
I'm
Yeah.
probably more sensitive and
Mm.
more analytical of this
Yeah.
stuff online
Yeah. Yeah.
because of just my experience and
Yeah.
what I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
In addition to the podcast, that I'm like, most people aren't like that.
Yeah.
Most people, especially younger generations, take it at face value what they
Yeah.
read. Looks real, sounds real. Okay, there's no immediate flags as AI.
Yeah.
By the way, folks, those immediate flags as AI, they're
Yeah.
disappearing fast.
Yeah.
You know, the thing like a
'Cause
month
it's
ago,
so hard to keep
has it
up
got
with.
6 fingers in the one hand? Check the hands, check the limbs, check for unusual
Yeah.
movement.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
AMI models have already overcome it. That
Course
is
they have.
no longer a flag.
Yeah.
It's no longer a flag.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
only the cheapy models, only the cheapy accounts are doing that now.
It-
It's crazy.
and it's
So
even
pretend entrepreneurs and pretend founders with these incredible stories
they're
around
already
the corner.
Yeah. I mean, so I was on a marketing on a meeting with one of my marketing agencies because I can't run the sort of paid advertisement myself. It's too above my bloody pay scale. And with my Google, and we were going through search terms that we're searching for when people are trying to find us and other terms that are coming up. I don't know if I should say it, but there's a website that's popped up with my name with a town name pretty similar to where we're sat right now .com, and you go on it and it's a mother-daughter story, and I was like, and I was like, this looks very, very similar to something I've seen before. Type it in now. You'll see.
This isn't on the screen.
Yeah. Type it in right now. Yeah.
Keep talking.
Yeah. And last year I saw it a couple of times, and it was the same story but with a different name. It was a husband and wife, been in business for 34 years, closing down, 70% sale. And it was the same stuff each time. And I saw it once and I was like, oh, bloody hell, what are they? So I was like looking at what this stuff had, and it fooled me the first time. And then the second time I was like, this looks familiar. So I says to me lass, little ears, I call her Ruth, and I said, isn't this the one that we saw the other couple of weeks back? She's like, yeah, it's a different name. And then we saw it a third time, and it's just a model of selling the same clothing, high price tag, 70% sale, different story. But have you found it?
No.
So it basically.
Are you put your hand over the mic? Yeah, if you put your hand over the mic, that will stop the audio. Fucking hell! Write it down.
Yeah. Go on.
Why don't you want to say it?
I don't know. Okay, it's lockwoodlondon.com.
Okay.
Lockwoodlondon.com.
All right.
Yeah.
So, and what? And they're ripping off your brand?
No.
Okay.
It popped up as a search term, and it's one of them AI websites. Is it a mother and daughter picture there staring at you?
Yeah.
So it's that sort of standard West London-y shopping boutique street. You could look on Google Maps, you'll never find that bloody street, although it probably looks very bloody similar to a lot of streets.
So what's your problem, yeah?
So it's the story behind it. You go into their social media, there's 7 posts, they've got 2 followers, and they're following like a couple of hundred people. And then it just looks...
It stinks.
It just stinks of AI, doesn't it? Like
I'm asking, that's what you think. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Okay.
And you look at it, it's like, oh, mother-daughter story, blah, 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 blah. It's like...
I wonder.
And it looks exactly the same as the 3 websites I saw last year, but they've changed it. Instead of it being a husband and wife now, it's a mother and daughter. It's all the same clothes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's all the same stuff.
So last year was husband and wife.
And it happened 3 times. It was just a different name with the same picture, the same husband and wife, the same story with a different name. And I haven't seen it for ages.
The photos do stink of it.
And then it propped up in one of our in my marketing meeting. They were like, oh, this is the search term that you're appearing for. And I was like, And then we looked it up and I was like, oh my God, that's AI. And it's like, even the geezer I was chatting, he's like, do you think so? I was like, mate, yes. I was like, how can you not see that? I was like, the pictures are too perfect. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what gives AI away at the minute. At the minute, it's too perfect. Whereas, people like me and you can look at our faces and see it's a bit bloody weathered. whereas they're just a bit too perfect.
Yeah, this is interesting because
Yeah.
okay.
And exactly like what you said, in 1 year's time, you will never be and the AI models will be able to make social media accounts. They'll be able to put out loads of content to give it history. The only
Oh,
thing that will give it
yeah.
away is when the dates that they're posted. That's the only thing that will give it. Because if you go on their social media,
Yeah.
all the stuff was posted a couple of weeks ago on like the same day or within a couple of days of each other.
Obviously, there's social media, but you can already do that with the AI, right? There's
What,
a.
as in change the posting dates? So you'd
Oh
be
no,
able
no,
to make them
you
show
can
up
already
as
just get AI doing creating your accounts, creating
yeah,
posts,
yeah.
even making purchases for you.
Wow. Like, would this be classed as agentic AI
I don't know what it'd be
or
classed
like,
as. I don't know what it'd be classed as, but I'll give an example.
but that's an AI agent, isn't it?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
like, yeah, in a way, but like, yes, an
Yeah.
AI agent, right? But. So, have you heard of Perplexity?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
love
Yeah.
Perplexity. Is one I
It's
use my mate.
Perplexity and Claude are my two main ones.
Well,
I've binned
Perplexity
off
uses Claude.
ChatGPT.
Perplexity uses Claude. One of the
Right.
LLMs Perplexity uses is Claude.
Mm.
I use Perplexity and I use Grok is what I use mainly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And Perplexity has got this product
What,
called
what? Tell me what. Sorry. I want to know what your differences with both of them, but you're clearly going to get to that, and I've just jumped in, so sorry.
Perplexity has a product called Comet, as in space.
Right.
Comet,
Right.
right?
Okay.
Comet's a browser like Chrome or like Brave or like Safari,
Yeah.
right? The difference is that in Comet, you can prompt Perplexity's model in there. So open up a little chat box and say, so let's say
Like
you're
a
on,
project in Claude
yeah,
almost.
let's say you're on, I don't know, a trading account. You can say to Comet, okay, there's 500 quid in my account
Yeah.
on let's say it's Hargreaves and Lansdowne or whatever, one of
Mm.
these, right? Trading 212.
Mm.
There's 500 quid in my account. I want you to conduct trades for the rest of the day on that and try and increase the sales, increase my profit from
Yeah.
or my
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
funds from 500
Try
quid.
and make us money.
Yeah, you can give it guardrails if you want, but you
Yeah.
can put that in. It will do that on your behalf in Comet. It executes. So it basically, the Comet browser allows the model, so Perplexity,
Yeah.
to be you and conduct trades, buy things, sell things,
Wow.
book train tickets, or just do searches, write documents,
Wow.
go on to Facebook, create me a new
And you
Facebook
can do
page.
that from your phone.
I don't know if Comet's on your
Right.
phone,
Yeah.
but it's on
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
laptop.
Wow.
So, you can go into it and say, right, I want you to create a Facebook page. I want it to be called Lockwood London. I
Mm.
want you to create a story, which is this about a mother and a daughter. I want you to use photos or create photos and post them there, blah, 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 and it will basically do most of that. There may be some hiccups where it gets
Mm.
to where,
Yeah. 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 Like little bits where it'll get snagged around the axles or
and it
whatever.
will do
But
it, mate. It will do it. I can go on to Comet and literally and go, I want train tickets
Mm.
from Chelmsford to London today. I want to return on the 23rd of
wow.
May. Book the tickets for me.
Yeah.
It doesn't. There's no check. It goes. Da-da-da-da, does it?
Yeah.
It will
that
say,
is-
"Do you want me to stop before the payment?" No, just to execute it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
You go and do the dishes. Come back. Your train tickets are booked.
It's
fucking
madness,
crazy,
isn't
mate.
it? Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
in addition to that, Perplexity's rolled out a thing called Computer. I'm not sponsored by Perplexity, by the way. I'm just giving an example of.
Everyone always says that, when because everyone's always shouting out their favourite AI.
Yeah,
I hear it on
yeah.
podcasts all the time. We're not
Well, they've all
sponsored.
got the uses, but Perplexity just rolled. I'm just trying to highlight like the level to which automation AI now,
Mm.
with no human in the loop, if you don't want
Mm.
it, and AI is now rolled out a thing called Perplexity's rolled out a thing called Perplexity Computer, which is
Yes, I've got that on my laptop. I haven't explored it yet properly.
okay. It costs, right? It costs, but that is direct integrations.
Right,
So it
okay.
will integrate with your inbox. It will integrate with your social media platform handler.
Mm.
It will all these API connections. So that automated task handling,
Mm.
where with Comet you have to do it. You have to have the laptop open, Comet open for it to be doing
Mm.
it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can do other
Well,
stuff
that'll do it
alongside
in the background.
It will do in the background.
Wow.
You go for the next week, do those trades.
Yeah.
Your laptop can be off because it's running it on it.
Yeah, just in the
wild. So things like this website,
Mm.
Yeah.
It can just
create the website, do this. Oh, by the way, in 2 weeks' time, change it so it's father and son.
it's scary.
mad.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's even before you get to generating the content and pumping out content 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day.
Yeah.
You know,
And I think stuff like that will have such short-term wins, because people just won't realise. And I think you see a lot of companies now. I think Through Dark do it quite well. They do their live events, don't they? They're sort of running things, run clubs, and we do a lot of pop-up shows. And I
True
think,
Dark are doing running clubs, isn't it?
yeah, they do a couple of them. There's like a one that they do them sort of periodically throughout the year, and they go do like a ruck or like a mountain run, basically like a cross country event, um, on foot. They've done a few of them that I've seen, and it's sort of the experience business model. 'Cause, as we sort of go towards the what they call, like, Elon Musk reckons we'll have universal high basic income or something, and they reckon like when we get to them sort of, if them sort of heights, but it's even now companies across the basically the West are seeing like experience memory forming businesses, theme parks, glamping pods, live sporting events are seeing such an uptick. Look at Formula One. My God, like killing it because it's experienced businesses and it's real stuff that's happening. I think about it a lot. Like, what could I be doing that brings my community together? Um, and it's these experienced businesses. Again, the founder led stuff is what will win. And yes, these companies will pop up and they'll have short term wins, but it's almost like a rinse and repeat model. We will not be able to tell the difference other than you can't bloody meet the people and they don't post
Yeah,
any
exactly.
events.
It's a good point, and I'm one of the things that fascinates me at the minute with all that stuff I just mentioned about AI is that, yeah, so yeah, it's getting harder to discern between what's real and what's not. From the
Mm,
video you're watching to the business and the people behind the business
yeah.
to the news you're reading, right? And that is changing people's behavior because the quality they assign to something they see online,
Mm,
how they assign quality to it, whatever they value the quality as, is fundamentally changing. And to your point, I think people will automatically just start giving more of a shit about businesses they de facto know are
yeah.
real
Yeah.
because they know that, for example, Jacob Lockwood
Mm,
holds his event and people have seen him in person. He
yeah.
goes
Yeah.
there and
Yeah.
he's constantly online.
Yeah.
And it's, with those constant on those vids that you do,
Mm,
it's really hard to fake that kind of thing.
yeah.
Because when you're a real person doing it,
Yeah.
it's not polished, it's not perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when there's also proven events and things where you're actually physically there,
Yeah.
that also,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then people care about it more because they know it's real. There's no
Yeah.
something behind it. That's even before you get to and it's British manufactured, for
Yeah.
example. That's
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
bonus
Yeah.
add-on,
Oh God. Yeah, baby. You're absolutely right. It is the
Look
imperfections.
at what you did
Whereas,
with In fact, look what you did with HR4K.
oh God.
You go there and you're there at HR4K, ITGD, in their ground were there, I think, Gibraltar Trading Company were
No,
there, I
no,
think.
no. So when we went, yeah, it was just me, Jack Wiles RB Club, and GTC, and then obviously
That's right.
Ben that brought us together.
And so everyone knows Ben's real.
Yeah,
How could he be? How could Ben not be real?
yeah,
And then if you're there with Ben,
yeah,
and the
yeah,
RB
yeah.
club guy, what's his name? Sorry,
Jack Wiles.
Jack there
Yeah,
with Ben. Again, it's all this. Look, it's basically
yeah,
we're not AI. Those kind
yeah,
of things are. It's a we're not AI.
yeah. That. I mean, my God. PJ, which me, Ben, and Jack all said, were like, "What's his actual name?" Like, PJ, and it was like, "Is it Paul? Is it Peter?" Is it
PJ from what? From
Gibraltar Trading
Trading
Company,
Company.
yeah. So, but PJ's name, we found out his name's Peter, but I've known him. I've been talking to him regularly for like a year,
Well, we
and
were
I
supposed to have a
only found
podcast
his
arranged
name
at
out.
some point. It's
Say
not going to
again?
happen. We're supposed to have a podcast arranged for the last few years, but neither of us have pulled our fingers out and arranged it. So.
Yeah. He's you are a unique fella, PJ. You've got to get him down. He's got such a different perspective to life than I. And it's
What's his background then?
so he's bootneck.
Okay.
Yeah. But again,
Of course he is.
it's
Gibraltar Trading Company. Of course he
yeah,
is.
yeah. He's bootneck. Yeah. That's maybe why I don't want to come on because you'll just sit here arguing about who's the best.
Oh God,
Green
mate,
or
I've got
maroon.
so many bootnecks on this. Honestly, when I first started, I had this in my head. I thought, right, it can't just be like Power Edge guests all the time. In the
Yeah,
back
yeah,
of my head,
that'd
right,
get
okay.
boring
But it
quickly.
went the would it? Would it? Would it?
Reg, 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 Reg.
But it actually went the other way. I was trying so hard to not make it the Power Edge. Basically, most people that came on, I had hardly any Reg vlogs on, and
Yeah,
it was loads of bootlegs.
yeah,
But
yeah. But
yeah,
yeah,
I've
get
kind
him
of
on.
corrected that.
He's
Yeah.
a cool dude. But no, so HR4K. I mean, Ben, he approached me at the Great British Shooting Show. Walked into me stand, and
Where does that happen?
so that was at the NEC in Birmingham,
Mm.
beginning of February. He walked into the stand, and I was immediately like, "Oh my god, that's Ben Garwood." And he's like, "How you doing,
What?
mate?"
Were you starstruck?
A little bit.
You
Yeah,
fan.
yeah, of course.
He's gonna
I
love
mean,
that. He's gonna love that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they've just got a different aura about them, the SF geezers, isn't they? And
Well, no, that's just Ben, mate.
well, yeah, yeah.
That's not aura. That's the stench. That's the two power stench in him. That's the legacy two power stench.
yeah. Probably bloody is, yeah.
But go on, yeah. Sorry, go on, yeah.
Yeah, no, well, anyway, he walked in and like introduced himself, and I immediately like knew who he was. I was like, "Oh, that's Ben Garwood." And he's like, "Yeah, how you doing? I've been watching you for quite a while now, and I've been wanting to come meet." And I was thinking, like in my head, I was like, "Bloody hell!" And I had to play it really cool because he basically was saying that I want to stock your stuff in my shop,
Hmm.
and I was a little bit like,
Have you been there? Oh, of course you've been there.
yeah. The whole like I get approached by people wanting to stock our stuff in their shops all the time. But like one of my mentors is like, you do not want to be going into shops because as soon as it gets a bit difficult, they'll put it all on sale and shift it. He's like, your stuff cannot be going on sale. Because I was actually sent to him, Matt Holland, shout out Holland's Country Clothing, to basically stock myself. And he's like, look, I could stock your stuff. I could give you a massive order right now, solve all your problems. But I'll be totally honest with you. As soon as it starts coming out of season, I will slash the prices and clear that stock. And he's like, and you cannot have that happen while you're building this brand, at least for a few years. So anyway, so then when Ben come in, I've been saying to people, no. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, well, it's not something that we're looking at. We're trying to protect the brand, etc., etc. I was like, I'd love to come and have a chat though. But in my head, I was doing like backflips, like, because what does that say to the average consumer? Excuse me. If Ben Garwood, the ex-SAS bloody destroyer, wants that kit, it must be good kit. Do you know what I mean? It's like anything Special Forces touch turns to gold. And but for me, that was like the ultimate compliment I've ever been given for someone of that standard. And I know you like joke.
No, I'm only
As
messing. He's a
do
mega
quite
guy.
a few people.
I'm only messing. He's good.
Yeah. It's banter, isn't it?
He's a good friend.
But,
yeah.
But yeah, for someone like him to want my kit, I was like, this is probably the biggest chuck up I've ever had. Like in this company, like so many people say, oh, it's brilliant, da da da. But it's when someone like that says it's good, like that's like boom, that's a gold standard. I like this, and for him to say he wants it in his shop. Pff. And then when I went and met him, he was like, look, this has got to work for both of us. I understand where you were sitting, so how about we just start off with you just have a couple of bits on display, and then when it comes back into season next year, we can rediscuss, work out the numbers for both of us, and then we can sell it. And I get people messaging me like, "Oh, where can you get your stuff?" I'm like, "HR4K, you can go see it." And people have been going down there and seeing it, and we've made quite a few sales from it just being in his shop because it just gives it that. That's like external credibility. That's your trust pilot, in 3.0. Do you know what I mean? But yeah.
What did he think of the hats?
Well, he didn't comment on them. To be fair, like we've only ever been speaking business, but yeah, I don't know actually. I'll have to ask him.
What's the response been like to the hats?
Oh,
Because they're different.
yeah, they are. And that was sort of the whole point. So I quickly realised negative media is just as good as good media. In fact, it's probably better. So with the Brecon Smocks, like I do videos where I like say stuff to purposefully poke the bear. Do you know what I mean? And it gets loads of negative.
Give me an example.
You're the sort of crow that wears your wet kit for a section attack. If you're the sort of lizard that sniffs around the medic like a bad smell, like stuff like that. That's like the opening line.
Yeah.
And instantly I get so many people, like I'll purposely have videos where I've got my hands in my pockets.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'll have like the thing undone. Like, and it just angers people. but it gets comments, it gets engagement, and then people that aren't bloody keyboard warriors see it and think, oh, that's actually a good bit of kit. I'll have that, and then they buy it and they bloody love it. So with the hats, I wanted to make something huge, in your face. So it's an 8-panel hat is exactly what it says. There's 8 panels to it. Go on. There's 8 panels to it. Now, if you turn it the other way, so you can see the top panels now,
Yeah.
the width of them, I increased the width by 1 inch on each side. So the panels are massive. So you get them folds.
Yeah.
It's got that huge body to it. And again, when they're stitched, some of them are a bit wonky. And and the people that are making it, they're not milliners, hat makers, and they're doing it for me. So they're not quite perfect. They're quite imperfect. But then when I put it on, they're just massive. And majority of people I think the best one I've had was that hat's so big I could fit my whole family under it. And it's like, or like, have you got the hat so big to hide your shame under it or something like that? But that's like comments that people are putting on. But then it increases the reach and people see it that think, wow, that is an amazing hat.
It's also differentiated from other brands, right? I
Yeah,
don't think there's not much out there like that, is there?
Johnny Beardsall is probably my inspiration behind this hat. So there's a company called Johnny Beardsall, and it's run by a guy called Johnny Beardsall, and he makes the most outrageous hats, and he's made a very good business from it. And I wanted to make my version of a Johnny Beardsall 8-panel. So if you go on like my videos, sort of 2 months to the left of where we are now. So go 2 months to the left of where we are now, you'll see a big Baker Boy hat, or this is kind of what that style is called, Baker Boy. And that is a Johnny Beardsall hat. And I wanted to take that and just crank it up a notch, put a little slap of Lockwood on there. I mean, like, for instance, we've got jacket studs on the top of them with Lockwood, not a tweed button. Instead, we've got the Union Jack lining. I've got the Guardsman stamped in there. You probably wouldn't want to wear that on your head with the Guardsman. But yeah, they are outrageously amazing, just as much a marketing tool as they are, but I bloody love them. And like lasses in particular look really bloody good in them. And they've been the main people buying them.
Oh, what, ladies?
Yeah, I think
Really?
it's probably a 70-30 split of female to male purchases.
There's probably a lot
of these
to do
hats.
with the material as well, though, right?
Well, yeah, but then again, that matches the hood lining, the cuff lining, the collars on the gilets, so you can match the whole set together. And people really like that, like matchy, don't they? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's probably about a 70-30 split of female to male buying these hats. But
so, what was the first business that you set up?
yeah,
Can you talk about that or not?
Yeah, absolutely, I can. Yeah, the lock harness, it was called. So, have you ever been on excise in the Falklands? Yeah. So Onion Range.
Yeah.
Them rock fields
Makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up.
Yeah, them rock fields. So anti-tanks, as you know, they're carrying bloody Jav and all that, like circa 70k plus, kg plus of kit, and good pal of mine. Another dude that I've been helping with the content marketing side, because he's now started a business because he spent 2 months living in a room with me in Scotland and had a bit of an idea. And now
What's
he's
the business?
Blank power banks.
Is it live?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Blank power banks. So it's battery power banks, basically, made out of fishing buckets, like bait buckets. And my God, is that a bloody business?
Power banks made out of fishing buckets.
Yeah, bait box. Oh my God, what a fantastic business!
Power bank.
Yeah. You'll find him on Instagram best.
Okay, I'm going to plug this in.
Yeah. I mean, you could.
I say plug this in. I'm going to plug in
put it on the Google,
on the
but
screen.
he's still very much in his infancy stages. But
it's live and you can buy stuff there.
Yeah, and they are amazing. I mean, that has probably saved me £1,000 this year.
Okay.
One of his power banks.
Okay.
Because when we go to events, we have to pay for plug sockets. Now, one of them power banks will last like a week or so, and I only need my phone to take purchases. So I bought a power bank from him, and I've saved like over £1,000 just this year alone. Can you see
this
it?
is basically a giant power bank. It's a battery.
It's a big.
Stuff in.
It is a massive power bank, and he customizes them. You can have wireless chargers on them. You can do speakers, lights, or like 12-volt sockets, plug sockets, and So yeah, Mike. Oh, honestly, what a brilliant business. But we were both up in Scotland together on a sort of task in December, January, and he was in the room with me, and he'd been playing around with making these. And then he sort of said, look, you know, I spent 2 months in a room with you, like you've given me the bug. And yeah, he's doing really well with it. But so we were out in the Falklands, and basically it was raining, and one of his legs slipped between two rocks, and then his body carried on going forwards.
Oh,
Yeah. Have you got it up there?
I've got his site up. Yeah,
Yeah. It's
but
good, isn't it?
yeah, they're not. They are cheaper than what I thought.
You,
Okay, introducing blank power
like
banks.
exactly.
Introducing blank power banks where customization meets power. We offer 100% customizable power banks, allowing you to create the perfect power solution for your needs. Choose any battery, including a reliable 12.8 volt, 10 amp, for example. Blah blah blah.
Incredible.
Monitor your power with the LCD display, ensuring your
Oh
usage.
yeah, percentage.
Match your design
Bloody.
with preset colors and illuminate your world with 2 sets of lights that are perfect, like a light up your bivvy or back of the van, or upgrade to remote controlled. This is basically a leisure battery,
Yeah.
portable with the kind of
And he
plug you're
put
gonna
mine into a little ammo tin, like a plastic ammo tin style one. Like that is going to be a massive business. And I've said to him, loads, you need to put your prices up. And he will not. He's like, nah. I'm like,
All
mate,
blank power banks are lightweight and portable, with all units weighing under 1.5 kilos.
the closest market leaders, which are nowhere near as good as his, are triple the price in that space of, you know, fishing. That is a business, isn't it?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? But he's got 3 kids now. You know, one of them's young Riley is disabled, and so he needs the security of the military. But he'll turn that into a legitimate big business one day. He's just going a bit slower than I. But yeah, I mean, them prices will be going up. The next time I can get on the bloody phone, I'm going to say to him, look, get them up.
So back
Anyway,
to the lock.
yeah. So
lock
anyway,
harness,
so he
is it? The lock
destroyed.
harness?
Lock harness.
Lock
Yeah,
harness,
it's
yeah.
all on YouTube still. All the videos. If you just search lock harness, and it's basically an adult baby carrier. So as I was saying, Wordy forwards on his knee destroyed it. So we tried to get the helicopter to come out, and it was too windy for the RAF to fly, which, you know, nothing on the RAF. It's dangerous, obviously. So we had to get him to the road.
They're not big fans of danger, are they?
Yeah. We had to get him to the road. So I ended up putting him over my shoulder at first, and he was like starting to be sick, basically, from the bloody pain. And then I piggybacked him. And as I was going down the hill or mountain, whatever, I remember just thinking, if I started getting shot at, if this was real life, if I start getting shot at right now, I am totally useless. I can't defend myself. I was like, if I had some sort of a stretcher, I could strap him to me back for exactly situations like this. Because anti-tanks, we work in small sections.
Yeah.
Just like SF boys, just like recce, just like sniper pairs. We work in small teams. I was like, this is a genuine problem. So when I got back from the Falklands, I just woke up one morning and I was like, I'm going to make that product today. So I went and bought a sewing machine, got 2 jiu-jitsu belts, and bought a roll of basically 100% cotton fabric, and I made the very first prototype of the lock harness. And then, you know, sort of fast forward, I had the actual design done. I had an NDA signed with Dragon Supplies. Shout out to Dragon Supplies, Colchester, Gary and Sue.
I've known Dragon for years.
Yeah.
Years.
Absolute geezers.
Yeah.
And yeah, so they made the first design for me, got it patented, and then was trying to get it over the line, and then COVID hit. I don't know, do you know much about patents and patent law or anything?
I don't know a lot, but explain
So
it.
basically, once you file patent pending, a clock starts ticking that you've got to get it patent full within a certain amount of time. But in that patent pending window, you've got 2 years, and that's when you've got your initial protection.
Okay.
Then you get the idea out there, start selling units, get investment in, etc. But within that, I had to get CE certification. So most stuff has got CE certification. The laptop will have it. All this stuff will have it. But that costs about £70,000. But each of the
70
milestones.
grand. It's not cheap, is it?
No, and as each of the milestones were ticking by, there was certain other bits that needed to be filed, and basically the amount got up to about 30 grand that I'd put in myself before I was like, and this was COVID. Literally, I filed patent pending. The next week, COVID bloody
Oh, mate.
hit. So business stopped. And it basically got to a point I realised, look, as Sergeant Toenail of the 1st Battalion Coldstream Guards is probably not going to get a military contract. Like, how naive I was. But, I went out to Bulgaria, did some filming on a live range with it. So basically doing transition drills with like AK and pistol, which was cool. And, I had a lot of fun with it. Pal of mine, it's called... Magic, he bet me a pint that I wouldn't be able to Kazivac my now fiance Ruth up the penny fan, so I did on my 30th birthday.
Front carry or rear carry?
Rear carry, yeah. So it's on me back. The whole video's on
Yeah,
YouTube.
I've
It's
not-
like 2 hours long. Probably the slowest descent up the fan ever. But halfway through somewhere, I like nearly collapsed, and I'm just like that on the video. But but I was hungover, to be fair. And yeah, so there's a company who are looking at licensing it, and they're still bubbling along with it. I've still got the UK European patent pending, UK patent full. You see it?
I'm just looking at the video. So lock harness.
Yeah. There's like a
I
couple
thought
of
it was front carry. You first
nah.
mentioned it.
So you basically turn a bloke or lass into a day sack. You just turn them into a day sack.
Have a look.
So it's like you're piggyback carrying them,
yeah.
but you've got full use of your hands.
Okay, because if
Yeah.
you piggyback carrying,
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
need to hold them on with your hands. But with
Yeah,
the hand,
well,
okay, I'm
you
looking at this now
just
on the screen
and
now.
it's when someone, like I said, there's certain people looking at it at the minute, and I'll hopefully be going to show it to certain people in a couple of months and see what comes of it. But that legitimately solves a problem. Think of urban warfare, bloody in and out of buildings, stuff like that. Like that will save people's lives. We've had them in the trenches in Ukraine. We've had them being used
Really?
in Ukraine in the trenches. And we had a deal. We were this bloody close to getting a deal of 500 being sent out to Ukraine, and it fell through because the brigadier that was doing it got sacked by Zelensky because he was funneling
That's
money.
properly holding his weight there.
Properly
holding
That's
his
a
weight
serious bit of kit. That is a serious bit of kit that solves an issue. 4-man fire teams. You imagine like a geezer gets his leg blown off, right? You're thinking, I don't know. So all-scale war kicks off here in London, and the geezer are going around in small teams, Syria, places like that, small teams, small urban areas. They're fighting in teams of 4. If one geezer gets both his legs blown off, tourniquet him on, keep him alive, and then all of a sudden you're having to get a lightweight stretcher out, that team of 4 is now combat ineffective because they're Kazavacking the dude. Or one geezer is man carrying him over his shoulder. You're now down to 50% effective offensive defense.
And you've still got the
Whereas
patent on
with that, one person goes out of a team of 4, you're only down 25%. And if they're copus mentis enough, they can even have a bloody pistol in their bloody hand. Do you know what I mean? And that, when the bloody adrenaline is up, you can shift someone with that. I took my lass took her up the fan. I took her up the fan, hung over with that on. So someone like me, you or I, could take I mean, I've got a video somewhere of me carrying my 19.5 stone bloody ex-professional rugby player around the garden in it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can shift people with it. And I had a variant which you could attach 2 Jav missiles in it, or 2 NLAWs. Like, oh my God, anti-tank fighting, urban fighting. The thing is amazing. I put so much mental time into it and personal finances, which, as I was saying, I had to pay off with Deliveroo around London. I had to just be like,
that's
okay.
what the sideline jobs were. So
That's
yeah.
Okay. That's why I was hustling in London on Deliveroo. Yeah. And so now it makes more sense, I think. I think sometimes when I'm
talking about Deliveroo on your socials, I thought, why was he doing that?
Yeah.
What was the reason? Like, I thought maybe he's saving for a house.
No, this was it. Yeah. I put everything in. Exactly what I've done with Lockwood, but Lockwood is B2C, business to customer. It's not B2G, business to government. Do you know what I mean? Which isn't really a thing. It's B2B, obviously, but business to business. But, I was never going to, in the world of Titans, I was never going to win that fight. Whereas in this world of Titans, I'm selling to a customer, and it's the customer, the individual customer decides, I want to put my trust in that guy. Whereas business to business, winning government contracts, yeah, you got to know people. You got to
Hard
know
work.
people.
Hard work.
I mean, like, a contract came out for a jacket that fit one of my jackets perfectly. The tender went out, and then literally a few days after it went out, a jacket that fit exactly to the tender specification got entered into the rolling, and surprise, surprise, it won the bloody tender. So it's
Probably not
that's
manufactured in the UK, though, is it?
will it hell? But again, I can sit and get bitter about that. But the realities of it is can the UK government afford to buy soldiers bloody British made kit? Probably bloody not. And where is that money probably better spent on other avenues? I mean, I don't know. Is it well spent?
Attitudes changing really quick
Yeah,
with regards to supply chains.
yeah, yeah.
So on the data we were talking about AI earlier, on the AI front, there's a big, especially with all militaries around the world, but
No.
but obviously we're in the UK, so where UK is concerned, there's a big emphasis being placed on where technology and data is concerned, sovereignty of supply
God, yeah,
chain.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
having everything you can here produced here in the UK as much as you can rely in the UK. So if a relationship with another country, for example, you say goes sour, or
Yeah.
something kicks off like Iran, where supply chains immediately
Mm.
disrupted, you are minimally disrupted if most of these are produced at home.
Yeah.
Now, I'm talking about AI and data here, but that attitude does cascade down into other real physical, tangible things like the supply chain of where your military kit is made. Super important.
You,
The
you know,
clothes on your back on your
yeah,
soldiers is just as important as the technology they're using in their hands to
yeah.
communicate information from one to the other. So it cascades down. It will have an impact. I think we're going to see more of an emphasis on supply chains being homegrown, paying a bit more for that security than we
Mm.
have previously, because we've been able to take it for granted for the last 25 years. And look what's changing now.
Yeah,
Things are going batshit crazy now.
yeah.
You cannot rely as much on things being sourced from other countries as you could 6 months ago,
Yeah.
let alone 10 years ago.
God,
You
yeah.
know?
It that is such a valid point. And I think when I'm running this, it's very easy for me to get stuck in the trenches and sometimes, get me head above the parapet a bit. And I think you're absolutely right. I think you're absolutely right.
It's a selling point,
Maybe,
mate. It's
yeah,
a selling
maybe
point
it
these
won't
days.
be something that ever comes into army general issue, but I think you're bloody right. And you are. It's just, I mean, this exactly what you touched on. This in Iran and the flipping heck and that evergreen blocking up the bloody Suez Canal. Like,
Mm. Yeah.
yeah,
Evergreen. I forgot about that. Yeah.
yeah, the
Yeah.
media
Evergreen. My
cycle,
God.
but it did, didn't it? That absolutely increased prices for stuff coming overseas. So it's maybe that is probably something I need to look at a bit more, to be honest. Because there's so many, like that meeting I've got at 1 o'clock. With this government agency, it is purely because government is being very aware it needs to start focusing on British growth. And we tick that box, but and I think if I can get to a point where I can make volume, I will be able to bring my prices down. Because if you go on my website, you'll see there's a significant price difference between my Brecon smock and all my other stuff. But my margin on my Brecon smocks is near single digits, purely because of the fact that I know the buying power of a soldier, because I bloody am one. I know the buying power of a guardsman, a private, a flipping trooper, because I was one. Do you know what I mean? And we were talking about sort of like poking the beast with the social media a bit, like
Yeah.
that. Even the geezers, even now, say it is bloody expensive, which it is, but it's so much cheaper than all my other stuff
The thing
because
is,
the other stuff props up the Brecon sales because I think it's the right thing to do. I genuinely think it's the right thing to do to be able to help out soldiers that want to buy actual British-made kit that actually keeps them dry.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
going to that smock now. Hang on.
yeah.
Yeah, on
It's
the
a
screen.
significant price difference to the other
I'm not
stuff.
looking. I'm not
Yeah,
looking
and
fat.
you know what? It's actually the most expensive one to make.
Is it?
Yes, because of the fabric and it's tape seamed.
Mm.
You know, the fabric's the most expensive fabric we make. It's the most expensive because of the tape seaming. You know, it is, you know,
Oh,
and
you're
it's
not
got
getting
the
wet in
extra
that, yeah.
bits. No, and it's got the extra bits of the Velcro patches, which are going to be genuine MTP Velcro patches on the next edition, and it's got the rank slide. You know, it's
Yeah.
the most expensive product that I make, and it's the cheapest price.
Mhm.
You know, which any normal, you know, corporate business would say we are not selling that at that price. But then the normal average geezer would not be able to afford it. And it's even at that price, it's a stretch. But a geezer only needs to not go out on Millionaire's Weekend and bloody, you know, shack off with some lass from downtown and maybe not buy the double vodka Red Bulls, maybe just buy a couple of cans in camp one weekend and they'll be able to afford it. So it's easy from, you know, you get a lot of lads gob off, but we've sold out of them 3 times now.
The thing is, mate, the people who care about the job, and I'm talking military, the people who care about the job and doing the job well will fork out for premium
Of course
kit.
they will. Of
They
course
will
they will.
fork out for
Of
premium
course
kit.
they will. Yeah.
You know. Uh.
And it is
Yeah.
that is an absolute barrier. Like you know, this waterproof breathable. I've had waterproof breathable. There's no, in my opinion, I've never been able to afford mega expensive stuff. That unicorn of waterproof breathable may actually exist. I don't know, but for me, in my bloody numbskull Jacob's head, if air can get out, water can get in. That's my opinion. And I wanted to create an absolute barrier to it. Now, I can see your eyes rolling, not rolling, but thinking there. And it's,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
It's
know,
just
I
thinking.
don't understand the sciences of it all. But as far as I'm concerned, simple squaddy Jacob, if air can get out, water can get in. I've never
Oh yeah.
encountered.
Oh, my eyes weren't rolling. I was just
No, no,
thinking.
rolling was the wrong, like that's rolling, but you kind of were like thinking.
Yeah.
It's like when people look up there, it's because they're thinking, isn't it, or something? But and it's you know, so for me, I just wanted to create an absolute bloody barrier. Now, them things, they're tape seamed, their cordura are PU coated, and the lining is a PU coated nylon. So it's like a double rubberized membrane of
When you
waterproofing.
say PU coded, what do you mean
So
PU?
PU coating, it's like so you know Bergens when you had a Bergen, and on the inside it had that sort of slightly shiny rubberized finish on it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So yeah, anything Cordura with a PU. It's basically Cordura is obviously that nylon weave, really densely woven fabric. It's what body armor's made of. It's what Bergens are made of. Um, I think you were talking about with that Go Ruck dude on one of your podcasts, and they were talking about Cordura bags. Anyway, it's a tough fabric, and then you can get ones that is water resistant as hell, and then you put a PU coating on it, so it's like a rubberized basic coating. So it's not like a Gore-Tex where it crinkles, crisps, and then just fades. It's a rubberized coating. And then the lining also has a PU coating, so
Mm.
a thin rubberized coating. So it's got like a double glazing. So it's if you wore that thing for a section attack, you will be sweating your tits off.
Hmm.
But it's not made for that. And I never at any point have I said this is it is an ultimate waterproof bloody jacket. They're made oversized, so you can chuck them on over you know you do this section attack, you do the job, the whatever, you put it on over the top, much like you would a parasilk. You know, you put it on and it's that windproof barrier and it traps the heat in. You know, it's that exact concept. You get to your point, your OP, your whatever, you know, your harbour or on the vehicle, in a Wimick, on a tank, whatever, you put that on.
Mm.
When you're about to start getting active, cutting about, flipping, doing the good stuff, that comes
So
off.
instead of putting your shitty Gore-Tex jacket on, you put on your
Yeah.
you put on.
But
Yeah.
it's a smock. It's like a hybrid,
Yeah.
you know, jacket. But again, would you go and do? You wouldn't bloody go up bloody A range at Breck or X range at Brecon with a bloody smock on.
Hmm.
You have your shirt on,
Hmm.
regardless. What middle of winter, you fight in a shirt, or at least I always did, and then you layer afterwards because that's good admin. You know, and yeah, and that's the whole inspiration behind. That's the whole point of them, and it bloody works. And I individually number them, which people quite like.
Oh
Yeah,
dear.
yeah. All
Oh,
the
okay.
jackets are individually numbered.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's not just a jacket; it's your bloody jacket. So eventually, when we've got hundreds of them out there,
What, it gets their number on it, or you just got a
a
serial
number,
number?
each one of them, it's like a serial number.
Got it.
So
Yeah.
the Breckons is BR0001 0002. Da, 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 da.
That's cool.
And then all the other civvy jackets are also numbered. So it's there's a lot of sticky fingered people in the military. So it's like when there is loads of them around, people will know which number theirs is. So unless the number has been cut out, then it's well, you probably stole it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas then they can be like, oh, well, that's my number. Mine is my serial number for my jacket is number 86,
Yeah.
294, 4,000 fucking whatever.
Yeah.
Although we're only up to like 185 at the moment. But yeah,
Toilet break.
yeah, that sounds good to
Back
me.
in a second. Right, the mics are hot again.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. Okay, we're back after our toilet breaks.
It's
Oh.
it's a real thing when you get a bit older, isn't it?
Well, mate, I smashing the coffee, mate.
Yeah,
That's what it
yeah,
is.
true.
And that is a
That's what it
half a
is.
litre mug.
Yeah.
Shout out to have you heard of House of Hiatus?
No, no,
HAUS.
I did see it.
HAUS, House of Hiatus, a guy called Chris Shirley, ex bootneck officer and military police officer.
Yeah,
But he said basically digital design and brand
brander.
brand design, basically.
Yeah,
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 but he's a good guy, mate.
yeah. Solid.
But it's a half a litre mug that
Yeah,
he
yeah.
gave me.
It doesn't look like it. That's what
No,
you
it's
want,
500
though.
mil.
Yeah,
500
yeah,
mil
yeah.
that,
Don't
yeah.
look it, but bloody hell, that's what you need, isn't
And
it?
I believe there's a limited edition as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
baby. We
Yeah.
like limited
Yeah, no,
editions.
yeah. Anyway, Chris Shirley, there you go. Shout out. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah. Okay, so tell me, please, where do you think your like entrepreneurial streak comes from? Does it exist pre-military?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, definitely. Bloody hell. I remember buying, shifting, selling chocolate bars, porn mags. I probably shouldn't say that, but yeah, like nudie mags. I actually used to buy them off a guy for a market stall I used to work at. I used to work on a magazine stand when I was like 13, 14, I think. And they sold nudie mags, and I used to buy them off him in bulk. And bear in mind, I was like a 14-year-old kid. Like, this guy should not have been selling them to me. But I used to sell them out of my backpack at school. So I had
Yeah.
chocolate bars, nudie mags.
So he'd sell them to you, and you would sell them on.
Yeah, bulk. I'd buy them like 10s and 20s, and then I would sell them for like
Would he give you a discount? Would he?
Yeah. And I used to sell them for like 4 or 5 quid at school, like well before the internet was like massive,
Yeah.
smartphones and that. What else? Buying and selling bloody vapes at one point.
Vapes?
Yeah, vapes, furniture.
Hang on, that kind of means a child.
No, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Let's just move on from that. But yeah, I had a bit when I was doing meal prepping, selling it on Facebook, going to Booker's, buying all the stuff in bulk, selling like meal plans for a week. Bloody hell, what have I done? Like leaflet dropping, bloody all sorts, buying and selling like BMX bikes. At one point, my uncle, shout out Mark, if you ever watch this, he lent me like 500 quid. My mum kicked me out of the house because she caught me smoking when I was a young lad. She sent me to live with my gran in Yorkshire, West Yorkshire, where I was born in Dewsbury.
Yeah.
And I went down the local market and they were flogging like Nike Air Maxes, bloody what was that? Flipping, there was a massive clothing company at the time, back when I was younger. Rockefeller clothes. Do you remember that? Like
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, like early 2000s. And yeah, it was all getting sold. And I remember, like, so I borrowed 500 quid off my uncle. When mum sent me away for 2 weeks, I came down with like a bag full of clothes and then was flogging that at school, which I eventually spent all on fags and bloody weed as a kid, like an idiot. But so yes, I've always been doing it, but it's only really recently till I understood what entrepreneurialism really is. But I think I get it from, my mum absolutely bloody grafted for us when we were growing up. She was always up to all sorts, like bloody mowing lawns and flipping working multiple jobs to support us because sort of my dad wasn't around growing up. And then my granddad, he ran a string of betting shops growing up. Mum was a copper in the 90s, up in Cleveland, and she once had to. Well, she got a phone call from him, and he'd been nicked at Dover with a caravan full of cigarettes because he used to run cigarettes across across the channel. So it's like all that is that seeing me mum graft growing up, me granddad's bloody entrepreneurial spirit, and it is just manifested into me of bloody here we
Mhm.
are, Lockwood Smocks, baby. And yeah, I think that's where it sort of comes from. But always just sort of wheeling and dealing. And I mean, the worst one ever, and it's not something I'm proud of, but I used to sort of got into a bit of selling weed and stuff as a young lad, and then when my mum found out, she was intervention, got me in the front room, and says, right, Jacob, I know what you're doing. Um, uh, Outside the house, your brothers are in the car. You've got two options. You agree that you're being kicked out and being sent to live in Yorkshire with your gran. If you agree, you can have 2 weeks. If you don't agree, if you walk out that door before me, because we lived in a flat as well, so it was one way in, one way out. She says, if you walk out there before me, your brothers are going to get you. They're going to put you in the car, and we're going to drive you up to Yorkshire tonight. And if you come back, we'll do the exact same thing again. Or you agree, and you can stay for 2 weeks, and then you'll go. So I agreed, and it was probably the best thing my mum has ever done for me. And so I then went to live in Yorkshire, but sort of,
She did kick you out.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
you lived at home for 2 weeks and then went to Yorkshire.
So yeah, 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 yeah. This time she sent me off when I was smoking when I was younger, but yeah, no, yeah. So I agreed that I would leave. So I had 2 weeks to sort of close up my affairs and everything, and sell everything I had,
Close the
and
business.
sell some of my bikes and stuff because I had like 3 BMXs at the time, and and then get some money together, and then I went off up there. And being and back then you could get away with going in pubs and that as a younger kid. There was always, but being the sort of, all right, mate, yeah, flipping Suffolk Essex boy, do you know what I mean? Because it's Sudbury's right on the Suffolk Essex border. I had a more wide boy accent than I do now. Every time I went out, I just got filled in. I'd honestly, I'd just start talking, and I went on this like sort of entry level college course at the time because it was like mid-term, and met this lad from up there, Logan, I think he was called. So I used to go out with him, and every time I went in a pub, unless I'd go to my granddad's working men's club, I'd just get started on and filled in all the time. I mean, I'd fight back, obviously, but you can never win when there's 2, 3 against you, and I'd just get filled in all the time. And I just basically got sick of it. I was doing my college course. I was glass collecting at one place. I was handing out flyers for another place. I was doing cleaning up in a couple of bars in the mornings. I just got sick of it, so I saved up. I got me pay from my bottle collecting job. Got the train into Leeds, and I just walked into the recruiting office and said, "Yeah, I want to join the army." And they were
Oh,
like,
wow.
what regiment? I says, well, the infantry regiment. And like the army recruiting videos were cool back then. It was Apaches back in town. Back when it was like Afghan was in the flipping full of it, like real war fighting was happening.
How old were you at this point?
17.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, 17. And yeah, and they said, what regiment? I says, the infantry regiment. He says, yeah, yeah, what regiment? I was like, oh, the infantry regiment. He says, right, perfect. We've got a look at life course with the Coldstream Guards, the infantry regiment. What we're going to do, we need to book you in. Yeah, yeah, Coldstream Guards recruiter. Yeah, yeah. And so we're gonna
Fair play.
what we're gonna do, we'll get you in for a barb test, blah blah. And I think I'm fairly like memory is so elastic, but I'm sure I had the barb test that day. And he says, right, you're passing flying colours. What we're gonna do, we're going to pay your travel. We're going to get you a train ticket. We're going to pay for your accommodation. We're going to pay for your food. We're going to get you down, get you on a look at life course. And there I was, flipping Purbright in one of them 20-odd man rooms. But 17-year-old kid, there was like nearly 30-year-old geezers in that room with me. But like the food, I thought the food was pretty all right. Do you know what I mean? And, for me, it was like assault courses, these bloody big hard blokes. And obviously I grew up without a bloody... a proper father figure. So for me, it was like these men of authority, and I was
Mm.
hook, line, and sinker. Coldstream Guards, baby, blue, red, blue, through and
Mm.
through. And
Where did you do that? Purbright.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Burbright, yeah. And then and when I got a training, my section commander was this guy called Glenn Straker. And it's probably, I think it was the first week, I said something to him that was just a little bit wise, and he took me in the toilets and beat the shit out of me, like beat the shit out of me. And I was I'm not afraid to admit, you know, I was crying on the floor, and he says, "Right, try, dry your eyes, sort yourself out. And when you come out of here, remember, I'm your fucking daddy now." And that was it. And he said anything, I was shut me bloody mouth. And obviously, a couple of times in training, I got on the wrong side of him, giving him the wrong look and whatever. But you know,
Uh,
it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me.
yeah.
Me mum finding out what I was up to in Sudbury, and you know, as much as I think the army's changed for what it is, it it turned me into what I am now. And I think you know, this even now, I think, you know, for any young lads and lasses that maybe feel a bit disillusioned with life or a bit lost, I think joining the army is probably one of the best things you could do, because it just teaches you discipline. Maybe not so much as what was back then, but, and not saying the discipline back then was better than what it is now. I think it was different, but it was, people were different then anyway, even just 10 years back. Um, and it's you know, it really has turned me into what I am. And you know, this sort of, this game of entrepreneurialism, of that no plan survives first contact with the enemy. My God, you know, being able to adapt in very different situations in the business world, but you know, it's being ready to deal with, like I said to you when we walked out then to go for a week, it's like the puzzle changes every single morning, and what worked yesterday doesn't work today, and you've just got to figure it out. And like anything, you know, support company, you're working in small teams, even rifle companies out in the jungle and stuff, you're working in small teams, and shit goes sideways, and you've just got to figure it out on the hoof. And that high level problem solving, when people can get hurt, people can get killed if you make the wrong decisions, even on exercises. You know, you know, if you're out at a limb, you know,
It's happened recently, isn't it? I'm sure someone's been killed recently on an exercise.
it-
Sure, someone has.
and it's
Where did I read that? Was it
and
a couple of
and
months back? Anyway,
yeah, and it's, you know, for them people, I mean, it's happening in the Coldstream Guards, you know, out in Malawi, couple
wasn't
of
it
years.
the Coldstream guys got hit? One of them got killed by a rhino. Was
It
that a
was an
guy?
elephant. Yeah,
Elephant was
yeah,
it? Yeah.
yeah. And a mate of mine, Padge, he was he got an award for how he dealt with it. And it's basically, they come through some long grass, and there's an elephant there, and there's some young, and you know, geezer unfortunately died. But it's that, in that moment, how do you deal with that? And it's that high level problem solving. Like Padge got an award because of how he dealt with that situation, and because of him, more people didn't die. But it's a reality of that high level problem solving, that there is no, there's no business school that can teach you that. There is no bloody university that can teach you that. That is something that you get from real life experiences, and that is one thing that I'm so bloody thankful of my military career for, of putting me into situations where it's, you've got to act here or something bad is going to happen. And it's you know, that's real, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's, I think, I think there's a few components to that, what you're talking about. What, and one is, sorry, there's a few components to be able to make the right decisions in, high stress, high pressure environments. And one part of that, which is probably it is the main benefit of serving in the military, and predominantly in the army, especially in frontline units, and it's very different to the RAF and the Navy, very
Mm,
different from most of those, because it's a different type of pressure when you're dealing with weapon systems, and
mm,
you're learning how to kill, and learn how to avoid being killed, and working
mm.
with other people under pressure. And it is repeated exposure to being in high pressure environments, just being in them,
Yeah.
right? And there's all different parts to that. There is repeatedly being in a situation where a high pressure situation is coming. So let's just
Yeah.
talk about exercise and training. Okay, in the next 10 minutes, H hours come in. H minus 10.
Yeah.
In 10 minutes, the battle is starting. That
Yeah.
is it. there is anticipation at that point.
Mm.
So in that, you're with your team, however small or big it is, and your mind is dealing with that. Holy shit,
Yeah, yeah,
things are
yeah, yeah.
about to get crazy. And
Yeah,
you know it's coming.
yeah,
You can't change that it's coming. You've got a job to do. And all of that information and training and all that knowledge that you're being given, all of a sudden now, you're gonna have to apply that,
yeah,
and you're not gonna have time to stop and think. The enemy
yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
wait. It's like immediately now,
yeah.
right? And you do that repeatedly in the military,
Mm.
repeatedly. So you're constantly you're preparing, you're dealing with your anxiety or,
Yeah, yeah,
however that stress,
yeah.
the apprehension manifests in your body.
Mm.
So you're learning how to deal with the fact that something crazy is coming
Yeah.
and all the unknowns that are coming. There's always unknowns. There's always
God,
a
yeah.
curveball coming,
Mm.
especially in training when the training in military training to join your unit or training in the unit, right? The exercises, preparing for war, and then you're repeatedly being in the high pressure situation.
Yeah,
So it's just
yeah.
that getting comfortable, just having to be in it,
Being comfortable, being
and
uncomfortable.
then you get on top of that, realizing, huh. I can actually perform well I
Mm.
don't just survive, I
Mm.
perform well. I do all the things I'm supposed to do,
Yeah,
regardless of what rank you're at.
yeah,
As a
yeah, yeah.
private or as a
Mm.
flipping captain, as a
Yeah,
lieutenant colonel,
yeah.
whatever. I mean, not much lieutenant colonel. Right, but the guys who have the bayonets fixed in those
Yeah.
situations,
Mm.
you learn, I actually do fucking well.
Mm.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden you are comfortable
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
dealing in high pressure
Uh,
situations where you don't know what's going to happen.
yeah,
Like, holy fuck,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
fucking there,
yeah.
baby. It's so valuable. I totally agree with you. It's
God,
so
yeah.
valuable. I think even just for someone to go into training, do phase one and phase
Mm.
two. That is it. And then you're a changed human after that.
Yeah,
Whether you
God,
pass
yeah.
that or not, where you pass it,
Yeah,
you're a changed human
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because of what you're being exposed
Yeah.
to.
It is that, isn't it? It's and something you were saying there. It was just make me think. It's in them situations. I always love seeing the leaders that go calm because it's like I was saying to you before. Like the guy that starts screaming and shouting, it's like you've lost your head, and
Yeah.
there's something. I don't know. It's like even now I can feel like my heart getting excited over it. It's like when you see the shit is gone down, and the guy that can just stay calm and it's there's one person coming to mind right now, a guy called Matty Wallace. He was my first platoon bloke, and I remember we were on again, it was like I've gone about exercises like change the record, kid, but I remember it was just absolutely bloody going off. Again, we were short on manning then, and I was doing a team commander's role in a Wimmick, and we were up on the high ground, and the radio chatter was coming through me, and I was having to relay it all, and it was just mental. And I remember he just rocked up, calm as anything, and it was pre our Herrick, like Herrick 19, but when we were FSG, I think it was. Yeah, well, we were FSG, yeah. And he just came up and said, "How you doing?" I was like, "I'm struggling." And I was a guardsman doing a job 2 up at the time on the exercise. And he just took the radio out of me. He's like, "Give me that." Put my net in one ear, and he had the other net in his other ear. Got a fag out, give me one, lit mine, lit his, and then for like 20 minutes he was just permanent send, rattling off grids, rattling off bloody Casevat reports and bloody calling in mortars. And he just stood there calm as anything. And I was at like mental load as like a young guardsman 2 up job. And he just came in calm as anything. And then just when it all quieted down, he's like, "Happy kid?" I was like, "Yeah." He just handed me the net back and was like, just drove off. And I was like, who is that? Like, and he's got a nickname like 95 Charlie because of when we were in Kenya, like years later, but when he was the company sergeant major. But it's, them kind of people that in just ultimate chaos
Calm
can
in the
just
chaos.
be,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And it's, there are a few of them people out there, and I know for a fact, just looking at your face, you're thinking of them sort of people
Mm.
now, and they are unique
It's what you want
people.
in those
Yeah,
situations.
baby.
You need
Yeah, baby.
they're the stable, they're the rock.
Mm,
It's like they're the people who calm everyone else down.
yeah.
Can do it.
Mm,
If you're about to lose your head with fear or whatever, and you look over, and like
yeah, yeah.
the people who
Yeah, yeah. and it,
around you, just like chilling the
and
fuck out.
yeah.
Yeah, fucking hell.
And equally, when you can do that and you look at the others who are going wild, and you're like, mate, just calm down, take a minute,
Yeah.
just breathe. Like, with it's everything's going on around, just chill, baby. We've got this. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's fun, and it's there's a bit of me that I know for a fact I will miss it, but equally, I'm on to another chapter of my life now. Um, God knows my knees and my back wouldn't be able to put up with staying in, but yeah, I will miss them days and look back on them with through rose tinted glasses. Obviously, the crap times will just get deleted over time, but it's the good times that you remember. Like the geezers, the bloody absolute brothers for life.
Mhm. Question for you. So, a short while ago, we talked about entrepreneurialism, and you said you think you know what entrepreneurialism really means now. What did you mean by that?
So I was doing entrepreneurial actions and I didn't know what an entrepreneur was. And the definition of entrepreneur is seeker of opportunity. And I didn't realize all them times I was seeking out opportunity. I was seeing something, seeing like I can take that and sell it for more and make money and buy my bike parts and etc. etc. Buy the nice clothes that I wanted as a younger lad. And now it's, I'm a big passion of mine is horses. I absolutely love
I
horses,
love
and
horses. Yeah.
yeah, and so Burley International Horse Trials. It's the pinnacle of five
Been,
star.
yeah. I've been a Burley.
Yeah, yeah. Cotsmore Leap, that big massive
Hmm.
jump with a. Remember when my mum first took me there, and she.
Burley or badminton?
Well, where was it?
Badminton
Was
I've
it
been to. I've not been a
Cotswolds?
Burley. I've not been a Burley.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Burley's like sort of Midlands, like Lincolnshire, I think. And then badminton's in the Cotswolds. But I mean, the Broken Bridge at badminton. Phew, yeah, baby. Um, but and she explained to me like about eventing. I'd just recently started riding. It was after something pretty brutal that nearly landed me in prison happened. So she got me into horses, and and then yeah, she took me to Burley that first year, and she explained to me about a guy called
Sorry,
Willie.
who's she? Who?
My mum, sorry.
Oh, your mum, yeah.
Yeah, my mum, sorry. And she explained to me about a guy called William Foxpit that basically had a bad fall, was in hospital and was told, well, his family were told when he wakes up he might be basically a vegetable. And he woke up and then he was told he'll probably never ride, he'll never be able to ride horses ever again. And he's going to struggle to walk, etc., etc. 6 weeks later, he was at the Rio Olympics and got bronze.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And I instantly thought like, wow, these are my type of psychopaths. And I'd got into the horses and it sort of saved me from a very dark period in my life. Um, and yeah, so it's like my life goal is to get to Burley. I just want to get around the Burley track. That is my one life.
Oh, you actually want to do that?
Yeah, yeah, big style.
Really?
Yeah.
As in competing?
Competing, yeah.
Really?
I want to get to Burley, yeah. That's like my one life goal above everything else. I mean, when I first got with Ruth, I said to her outright within about 2 weeks, I said, look, one thing you've got to know, I don't want kids. My only life ambition is to get to Burley because I don't think I'll be able to afford me being me and the stage I am and the family that I come from, the skills that I have. I don't think I'll ever be able to afford to have a life with children and get to Burley. Whereas now we've had the conversation of that Lockwood Smocks is turning, it is going to be a globally known name in a few years, nationally known in probably 6 to 8 months. I mean, it already pretty much is. So it's hard, and I've since said to her, look, right, I know where I stood before, and obviously, like, everyone wants to carry on their name, but I was so set on getting to Burley. But now I know I'm going to be able to do that as well as, but for 6 months, I haven't sat on a horse once. And I think about it a lot, I bloody miss that. And again, riding a horse and training a horse is just entrepreneurialism. It's it's problem solving. Because just how you wouldn't get the same result out of one guardsman to another. You've got to work out how can you train that person? How can you coach that person? So I love being able to train and coach people. Much like when I went to Knightsbridge, I used to love training the difficult horses. Because it was like, how do I approach this horse? Because horses are just like people. They wake up, they'll be in a different mood, and it's how do you get the connection with that horse on that particular day? And so that is where I want to get to. It is a burly top of the sport, and but yeah, and it's event riders are psychopaths. Like they are psychopaths. They could go out that day and die, and people do die each year in the sport. But it's like just for me, it's like the ultimate adrenaline rush. Like I remember when I first went out hunting, quite controversial now, going out trail hunting, but it's a people do it in the countryside, and I had the best time ever. Because out people think hunting it's all bloody toffs. It's not. There's bloody. I mean, I used to go out hunting bloody. There's farriers, bricklayers, and there's also bloody lords and ladies. It is such a diverse crowd of people, young kids, old people. Um, you know, and I just loved it. And then when I found out about event riders, I thought, these are my
Mm.
people. These are my people. Well spoken, polite, very nice, because they know that when they set off across that start line, anything could happen. And they all know that everyone's in the same boat and everyone could get seriously hurt, if not for
It's a
that
great sport, especially. I mean, just equine sports in general. I love horses, and
magnificent to watch, isn't it?
oh, yeah, magnificent to watch. But also, there's something about horses, man. They're magnificent animals, right? And they're
Mm.
magnificent to ride as well. And like I describe them like if you like, do you like dogs? I
Yeah,
say, do you
yeah,
like?
yeah.
Someone go if I say like horse riding, they go, you horse ride? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Especially when I was serving, because I
mm.
started riding when I was serving.
Mm.
Hobby.
Right.
My
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
my wife at the time
Yeah.
had ridden when she was younger. We are going to start again. We want to get the kids into it,
Mm.
and to the point where my eldest right now is finishing off a degree at an agricultural
Really?
college, a degree in
Yeah, yeah.
equine sports
Science?
massage
Right.
therapy,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
sports therapy, right?
Wow.
Yeah, huge. You literally got 2 weeks left,
Wow.
and I say
I should have done my research on you more.
well, you wouldn't find that online anyway. But I'd say to the blokes, I used to drag some reg blokes along. To
Yeah.
the horse riding, right? And
Reg.
and I say to them, the ones who'd be like, "What the fuck, like an horse
Yeah.
riding?" And I'm like, "Mate, do you like dogs?" Yeah, right. A horse is like a dog. You could fucking ride it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
imagine riding your dog into battle.
yeah,
That's a
yeah,
horse.
yeah.
It's a horse.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they are. They're just amazing animals. Amazing animals. I brought a funny little story. One of the guys I brought along was a South African guy called, I can't say his name actually because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he's over there in Hereford now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know why I did that.
Parrot
I
A.
don't know why I did it. in that
Parrot
accent.
A.
Yeah, yeah. And-
Cornish accent for a South African dude.
It's an African dude. Yeah, what a random. Anyway, brought him along, and he'd ridden growing up in South Africa.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Different there.
Yeah,
We got
baby.
this riding school,
Yeah,
mate.
baby.
Then he got shown the horse he was going to ride, and this horse is called Harvey. And I'd ridden Harvey before. Harvey was a fucker. Attitude.
Yeah.
Bite you, try and bite everyone.
Yeah.
And my mate, who's a unit of South African as well, walks up. The Harvey sticks his head out of the stable, goes for a swipe at my
Yeah.
mate to bite him. And my mate just clocks him with a haymaker, mate, punched him right in the nose. Boom! But it was like instinctive reaction to
Yeah, yeah,
South
yeah,
African things.
yeah, yeah.
Animal do something wrong, punish animal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Punched
they-
this horse right in the nose.
yeah,
Horse
they're
didn't bite,
different down
horse
there.
didn't bite, try and bite him again. But the
We do not condone
the-
cruelty to
yeah,
animals,
oh,
by
yeah,
the
the-
way.
yeah,
Let's
I was
just
like,
put
fucking hell,
that.
what are you doing?
Yeah,
You can't go
yeah.
punching horses, mate. But yeah, I love it. So, mate, power to you, mate. Mega. How often are you riding then?
Like I said, I haven't sat on a horse for about 5 months. I used
Oh.
to ride. I mean, at Knightsbridge, I was riding 6 horses a day. Do you know what I mean?
You're going to be changing locations, so where you're going to should also be a little bit cheaper for
Yeah.
riding.
Well, I mean, when I left the cavalry, I was paying and going having lessons twice a week. I mean, I was ready.
Why couldn't you ride with cavalry?
Why can't I?
Yeah,
I don't have time.
You had time for no.
Yeah,
you
when
were
I
with
was
the cavalry, you had
working with
time
the
for lessons,
cavalry.
to pay for lessons.
Yeah.
But why couldn't you use the horses in the cavalry?
Yeah. So, I mean,
Pardon my
so
ignorance.
yeah. So 2020 to 23, I was there full time. So I was riding like 6 times a day, up to in the busy
Nice.
period. The typical would be 2 to 3 horses, but when it was busy, and then when I left, I started paying for lessons. Well, I bought an ex-racehorse, which my mum now has. And there's a whole story behind that of mum having all sorts of problems, and then she finally got a horse that's safe, and it just happened to be my horse that I sent to live with her while I was away in Cyprus. And But yes, I bought a horse that skinted me, and then I started this company that skinted me even more. But now we're at a point where I'm actually starting to pay myself back of all the debts that I built up bootstrapping the thing. And probably in 6 to 8 months' time, I'll be able to start riding again consistently. But
That's good.
me and Mum have bred a young event horse, and she's called Elizabeth. But her passport name is in Her Majesty's memory. So one day when I go down the centre line at Burley, it will say, and in the ring next is Jacob Lockwood riding in Her Majesty's memory.
Ah,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah. That is the goal.
I got a couple of questions in the chat. I'm also conscious of time here.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
because I know you've got a hard stop. So, there is a couple of relevant questions to what we're talking about at the moment. So, one is, okay, if a horse, this is from Coke in the chat. If a
Hey,
horse,
Coke.
if a, if a horse saw you being attacked, would it intervene like a loyal dog would? No, it would not.
No,
There's just
no,
a bit of a
no, no.
difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, there is a
Because
question.
so just something on that, like what you got to understand about a horse is a prey animal because they've got their eyes on the side of their head, so they're instinctively fight or flight. So if they're backed into a corner, they will flip and double barrel you and get you out of the way. But instinctively, they're a flight animal. They're high twitch, so they fast twitch muscle fibers, and so they are fight and flight. So it's not like a dog that would defend you. A dog is a prey animal because it's got its eyes on the front.
Predator. Yeah,
Predator,
yeah,
sorry, and a horse is a prey animal with
yeah.
eyes on the side of its head. Yeah.
All right, next question is, okay, so what is this from Coke again? What is the justification for hunting foxes for enjoyment? Most people would say it's wrong to enjoy hunting animals, not which is not for survival reasons.
Yeah, no, so to be clear, I mean, the Labour government brought in the Hunting Act well before I started hunting, and it's always been trail hunting. So I think some hunts.
Explain trail hunting for people who don't
Yeah,
know.
it's a trail hunting, and it's I actually have done it a couple of times. Gone out with a trail hunter, the trail guys. So basically, somebody is appointed. It's usually someone that's into running that's involved with that hunt, and they go out with an artificial scent, and they will literally just run out with it dragging behind them, and they'll go out a couple of hours before, like crack of dawn, and go lay a trail, and they'll like loop
They'll
back
lay a
on
scent for
themselves.
the
Yeah,
dogs
they
in
lay
the
a
hunt,
scent.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it sticks around, and that is trail hunting. And it's usually they'll go off, and you sort of do a bit of a run. The hounds catch the trail, and then you'll stop at certain points, and everyone just stands around. You have a good nap, have a bit of drink, and then they carry on again. And that is so it's basically like cross country in essence, but like a social version of cross country. That's what a lot of people don't really get. That is trail hunting. It's just a bloody. It's like going to the pub with your mates, but it's like people going out on the motorbikes, except for the motorbikes have a brain, and you can go cross country on the bloody things.
Yeah, trail hunting is hunting without the fox getting chased and killed at the end,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, exactly.
Right, we've got shed loads of questions, right,
Let's-
left over from the icebreaker, which
Let's
I want to
get
get
into
through.
them, baby.
Is that all right to go
Yeah.
through those? So let's get on to that now. Pull these up.
Yeah, we're good.
All right.
We are good.
Okay. So left over from the icebreaker. Question from Coke. Who is the best person and who is the worst person you met during your army career? And what impact did they have?
Yeah.
So do the worst first, if you want to do the worst.
Yeah. So
You mentioned the postman.
yeah, probably the worst was a senior guardsman when I first joined Seven Company, and he's called Luke, but I won't say his full name because he's still very active on social media. And he's called Luke, and he was an out and out bully. And at the time, he was a senior guardsman in Seven Company, but my battalion was on a fighting tour in Afghanistan, on Herrick 11, and he was at our ceremonial company. So take from that what you will. But he was a bully, an outright bully, and he used to batter me all the time. And I remember one of the worst things he ever did to me. It was my birthday, and we were on St James's Palace Guard, and all the lads had bought me. They'd got me like they'd all chipped in. They bought me a McDonald's takeaway, got me a card, and bought me an FHM magazine. And this is disgusting. And he went and took that FHM mag, pleasured himself in the stole it out of my hand, went to the toilets, did his bit in the magazine, and then come and threw it at me. Like,
Jesus.
absolute
Piece of work. He's a
piece of
of
shit.
work.
And then the next morning, I was on the last stag. So the last 2 hour stint, and it's normally longer because the guard change. So and then there's like a 5 minute changeover when you come off. So it's not, no, sorry, it is 2 hours. You come off, but then you go straight on at the dismount. So you got like so you do 2 hours, then you got 5 minutes off, and then you're straight on at the dismount, which is like an hour and a half. So it's like 3 hours in glory holding the £9 weapon, which soon gets heavy. And we got on opposite, and he did something called hooking on. So he basically took the weight off his hand, and he says, we pulled in opposite. He
You hook the
says,
weapon onto your belt, right?
yeah. And he says, as we're marching out, he's like, we're power stagging, which basically means you don't move because you're meant to march up and down every 15 minutes. And he says, we're power stagging for your birthday. And then he got opposite. He hooked on. He says, if you fucking hook on, I'm going to beat the shit out of you when we get back. So I stood there for 2 hours holding that fucking weapon. We didn't fucking move, and I was in absolute
God.
fucking agony. It was basically like, you could say it was almost like fucking torture. It was fucking painful. And then when they came to do the relief, you obviously put the weapon in. I couldn't
Your arm must have been dead.
I could not get the weapon into me. So I had to grab the weapon, and the corporal was gobbing off at me. He was a piece of work. And then, so that's it, the worst person. The best person I've probably met in the army would probably be Matty Wallace, like who I mentioned before. I was literally when I told you I de-kitted the other Tuesday. He's now the TQ battalion. He walked in, his ass, how's this feel, Lockie? And I was like, you know what, Matty? Until you said that, it felt totally fine, and now it feels a bit weird. So yeah, and he's got me out of a lot of holes in the army. Yeah, he's a bloody good leader.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
9-5 Charlie.
Okay, from David. So where Lockwood Smocks is concerned, was the starting of that driven more by frustration with bad kit or a belief you could do it better? Which one?
Probably both. I was just sick of wet kit that don't keep you bloody dry. Obviously, we call it wet kit, but it's to keep you dry. I was sick of wet kit that didn't keep me dry, and I just thought, I bet I could do it better than this, and I bloody did. Basically, the short answer is that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Follow-up question to that then is that so you focus on durability and simplicity.
Mm.
Are you deliberately pushing back against fast fashion trends?
Oh, big style. Yeah. It's something I didn't know. The most polluting industry after oil and gas is fashion. Think
Really?
about that for a minute.
Okay.
Most polluting industry on the planet after oil and gas
Huh.
is fashion, which is mental, isn't it? Really.
That's why I don't bother. That's why I don't bother with being fashionable. It's not because I haven't got a clue.
And it's well, but it's like I just think if I can make my small part net positive to it, like the economy, if I can do better, try and work towards fully sustainable. It's out of my league at the moment using fully sustainable products. Cordura is not a sustainable product. It's not wool. It's not 100% natural. It's not cotton. But if I can work
But
towards
there's no sustainable alternative that will do what you need to do.
yeah,
Is there?
well, there's a company called Repro that it was on James Burt's podcast, and they've made a fully sustainable activewear brand, and they use all recyclable products, and I think their stuff is all biodegradable or something, but it's all fully recycled anyway. And it's for me, that's where I would like to get to with the brand, but yeah, and I think it's sort of it is that just wanting to make the best. Like the GPMG, it's a design that hasn't changed for bloody since the 50s or 60s. Was it the GPMG came out? The design hasn't changed because they got it bloody right. And that's kind of what I'm looking at with my jackets. I don't want them over-engineered to be bloody fancy bells and whistles and it can call in bloody airstrikes. It's a jacket that keeps you fucking dry and it is made to fucking last. Like, just end of discussion sort of thing,
Yeah. Next question from David. What has been tougher for you? Military life in the field or dealing with customers online?
Oh, bloody hell. I mean, not dealing with customers online, but I'd say dealing with the hate online is maybe what they were meaning. But it's, water off a duck's bloody back, baby. It's, you put yourself out there, you're gonna get shit. It's, I use it as an avenue to help grow the brand, because unfortunately there's people out there that are so unhappy with their own lives that it gets them, it's like their little outlet to give people shit online. These hats, only people that are not happy with themselves, or comfortable in their own, maybe their own masculinity or whatever, that will reach out, and that gives them their little bit. So it's, so
And I'd say the military are the
far
one of
outweighs
the
the pain.
worst at
Oh
that,
God, yeah,
at this, right?
yeah, yeah,
At,
yeah.
at being the keyboard warrior where it comes to military stuff. And I think, do you know what? I think that's because these military keyboard warriors,
Oh, the
I would
worst.
say they think because they're ex-military, they've
Mm?
got some additional right,
Oh,
they've got some additional authority about them.
yeah, yeah,
No, 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 no,
yeah,
no, no.
yeah.
And
It
that goes
was,
for myself as well. Not that I'm a keyboard warrior,
yeah,
but I don't have any more than just military. It's like it's a chip on the shoulder that
yeah.
drives these people, and you, and
Their
you, and
training was harder.
honestly,
They had live
honestly,
rounds
mate,
on Final X.
honestly, mate.
They had thunderstorms every bloody day in their training.
Oh
They're
yeah.
all out there. They walk among us, and it's sad that people are so unhappy with what they've done. They maybe haven't achieved what they probably wanted to do, and okay, but literally, just thank you for the hate, because it helps me grow.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
you know,
Okay, we got a load more questions still to go. Um, Back to Coke's questions. Out of 10, how would you say the average veteran is for society? Out of 10, how would you say the average veteran is for society?
if used, I think I get that. Is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Yeah. What
Yeah.
are they? Is
So
a
how
10
good
out of,
how good are they for
yeah,
society?
yeah,
Out
yeah.
of 10.
It's
Average, on
I
average.
yeah, on average, yeah. There's a lot of bitter people, I think, that have left the military, but I think what the corporate world is realizing now, how bloody useful a soldier is, an infantry soldier, how bloody useful they are, because it's that high level problem solving skills that they. And I think if most squaddies, when they left the military, if they just realize how fucking good the skill set you've got is, they would be able to do so much better in life. And corporate world, civvy street, Formula One is a big driver of employing ex forces, because they realise we are bloody fucking amazing. Like, they don't get it, and well, not the most squaddies don't get it. They don't realise that set of skills that they've got, and if they just realise how fucking valuable they are, my God, there's the streets are paved with gold. You've just got to be able to see it. Get your pickaxe out and bloody mine it.
Okay, there's a follow-up part to this question that he's put in, and that is out of. So, what figure would you give the military then out of 10? Average.
I'd probably say, unfortunately, right now a 6, because
Okay,
there's
6.
so many negative ones out there they
Okay.
don't realise.
Or what about out of 10? How good is the average civilian for society?
You know what? In the military, in Civvy Street, binmen, postmen, doctors, nurses, bloody Costa coffee baristas, it's unfair to tarnish, I think, separate squaddies and civilians, because there are amazing people in all walks of life. And
You got all
it's,
political now, haven't you? You got all
well,
political.
yeah, but it's, I think it's easy to look at society and think, for the most part, we've got a weak society at the moment. I think we have got a weak society at the minute. But I think it's like, I was listening again, another podcast I was talking, and I think it's like Gen A or Gen Z or whatever it is, were the first ever generation to be stupider than the generation
I
before
bet
them.
it's too, but is it? Is that real?
Yeah,
Though?
but then was it maybe even on your podcast we were talking about? But then it might have been the James Burt's podcast, but then the generation behind that, which is Gen Alpha, they are. It's like studies are showing that they're wanting more authentic things, and more realism, and they
Mm,
think that they're going to be a step above the generation before. And
okay,
it's
I've got the
go on,
information. Yeah.
sorry,
So
yeah.
well, all right. So
Oh, you've got the statistics there. Mm,
according to this is I'm using Brave browser. I'm using Brave's AI search here.
yeah. And I
Okay.
don't
So
like quoting things that I'm not
No, but I'll read it
100% on it. I'll
verbatim.
always
So
say that
I'll
as
read it. So this is what it says: Generation Alpha is the first generation to potentially be dumber than Gen Z, as Gen Z is already the first generation in modern history to score lower on standardized academic tests than their predecessors, millennials.
scary, that
So,
isn't it?
so it's saying you're Gen Z is stupider than millennials, Alpha are stupider than Gen Z. Neuroscientist Dr. Jared Cooney Horvath testified before Congress in 2026 that Gen Z, which is classifying you as people born between 1997 and 2010, underperformed on every cognitive measure, including attention, memory, literacy, numeracy, and general IQ, making them the first generation less cognitively capable than their parents. Horvath attributes this decline to constant screen time and the overuse of educational technology, which has turned students into skimmers, unable to engage in deep study. Global trend: this decline in academic performance has been observed across 80 countries, 80, following the widespread adoption of digital technology in schools.
Wow.
Future outlook: Horvath says that suggests that if current educational trends continue, Generation Alpha, which is born between 2011 and 2025, could face similar or worsened cognitive challenges, though he advocates for policy changes to restore academic rigor before they enter the workforce. Current status: as of 2026, Gen Z remains the lowest performing generation in recorded history regarding these specific metrics, with no subsequent generation having been fully measured yet.
That's so bad, isn't it?
But totally understandable,
Yeah.
you know?
Like, how worrying is that? Like, how worrying is that? You know, like when you when you really think about that, it's like humanity in decline, and it's yeah, yeah, it's bloody worrying, isn't it? And we're now facing the realities of all this bloody screen time. I mean, it's like when I'm trying to engineer hooks and things. It's you know, they say you need to get attention within 3 seconds, which it
Yeah,
used to be five.
yeah.
And I'm sure I heard something. It's like 1.5 seconds. So I'm constantly thinking, right, how do I capture the attention to just better get my message across? It is
Well, that's not
wild.
necessarily true, right? That's a general figure,
Yeah,
because you look
yeah,
at it,
yeah.
you go and look at it like this and go, for your target market,
Mm,
what's that? Because
mm,
that
mm,
figure of
mm.
3 seconds, that is going to encompass everyone who's using social media.
Yeah,
That
of
figure
course.
is probably really, really highly driven down by younger people who
Yeah,
are not going to be buying your stuff.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
you've probably
yeah.
got a bit longer for the older generations. I'm not gone after 1.5 seconds.
Yeah. God, yeah. I mean,
I can last at least 3 minutes.
yeah. Lucky ladies. Oh, flipping heck. Yeah, yeah. It's yeah, I was thinking about a joke like that when I rocked up like bloody 40 minutes early here, but yeah. It's
All right.
um
But let's move on because we've got a
yeah,
couple more
yeah, yeah,
questions.
of
All right.
course.
So, if
Yeah,
the
let's
UK
go, baby.
decided to engage in full war with Russia or Iran and called you back to service, would you go?
I mean, you know, so I've had this sort of I've genuinely had these mental thoughts recently because I was I am considering joining the reserve service. Someone said to me, "Well, what is it that's why aren't you joining?" And I'm like, "Well, you know, when I joined up back in 2010, whatever it was, when I signed that line, I in my head I was signing to say I will lay down my life for Queen and country. Like that's a contract you're putting in. You know, biff bods that would go on the biff, like you're breaking that contract, really, with the Queen." And I said, and in my head now, I'm like, you know, do I believe in the wars that are going on? You know, I'm not going to comment on that because you know, I am still technically a soldier right now until, you know, yes, I'm on resettlement leave, but I haven't had my final orders yet. So it's, you know, and, but it's, you know, if it got to a point where I'm being recalled, there's going to be some form of reason. And it's, you know, at the end of the day, I think if I signed that contract once and I'm being sort of legally forced to go do it, then you know what? Bloody hell, I best go strap myself in and get bloody ready for it. But would I sign that contract again now? I don't know.
Mm.
is the honest answer. I
I think a lot
really
of
don't
people are in
know.
that position.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so he's put the same question to me. If
What do
you,
you say then?
he's put the same question to me. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So, all right. So
What
if
do
the
you
UK
say?
decided to I'm going to read it again for myself. If the UK decided to engage in full war with Russia or Iran and called you back to serve, would you go?
And
I probably would. I probably would. And the reason being is because now
that's a
I
bit of
may
a
not
word
agree
there.
with
I didn't
I may
realise.
not
Full
agree.
war.
Yeah, full war.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah,
I may
yeah.
not agree with how we got to the stage of having to declare full war, going to full war with them. But if we're in full war with another country, regardless of whether it's Russia or Iran, if we have an actual full war with them, well, let's say no, Russia or Iran, let's say Russia, full war, then
Well, that'd be
that is immediately given an existential threat to the UK, I'd
yeah,
say,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I'd
yeah,
want to defend that.
yeah. Bloody right.
This is where I live. This is where I'm from. This is my line,
Mm.
and I would defend it. Yeah,
Well, that'd be the same situation as the
yeah,
geezers for World War One and Two,
full
wouldn't it?
war.
You,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know.
Now, for you to say, oh, would you if you got called back to go and help engage in some strikes somewhere?
Yeah, yeah, and
I'd be
I
like,
think
yeah, I
that's where I
don't
sort
think
of
so.
misunderstood the question.
Oh no, it's fine. No, it's fine.
But yeah, no, yeah, I've signed the contract once, and it's
If you okay, now the question: if you could wear one outfit for the rest of your life, what would it be?
easy. A suit. Yeah, yeah, a
Easy
suit.
what?
Pardon?
A suit. A
Yeah,
suit. Yeah.
suit. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah, a suit, hat like this, nice overcoat. So it was stripped down, three-piece suit. Take it down to just the waistcoat and trousers. In the summertime. But yeah, yeah, definitely all day long a suit,
Mhm,
baby.
mhm, mhm.
British made as well.
All right, here's another question. This is a bit of a random one. Would you let Bear Grylls, Prince Harry, or Prince Andrew be ambassadors for your brand? Would
All
you let Bear Grylls be an ambassador for your brand?
yes,
Would you let Prince Harry be an
no
ambassador for your
comment.
brand? Would you let Prince Andrew
No
be an?
comment. Definitely no
All
comment.
right, and
Yeah.
then the follow up, which is what do you think of them as people? Oh, you
Yeah. Again,
swallowed it. You
I
took a
did.
gulp there. I saw you.
Just and just as a sort of disclaimer here. Now, this people probably read this wrong. Like I am still a serving soldier to the crown, aren't I? So you know, I don't think it'd be right to answer them questions. But Bear Grylls, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. I've met him once because he's got a lot to do with is it Scouts? He's like the national ambassador for Scouts. He's
Yeah, yeah.
honorary colonel for the Royal Marines, which you know they are mermaids on steroids, and waterproof
Mermaids
kit.
on steroids. I've heard that.
Have you not?
Nah.
Yeah, bootnecks are just bloody mermaids on steroids. Isn't they?
Oh, that clip's going out. Yeah.
Or what is it you call them? Sea hats.
Sea hats, cabbage heads, screamers.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
But no, yeah. So you know, the correct answers would be, you know, I am still a servant soldier, so I can't answer the other questions. And you know, whether it be the question that people, the answer that people would or wouldn't expect, you know, at the end of the day, ask me in 3 months,
Yeah.
and I probably would give an honest answer. But again, it probably wouldn't be the answer that people would think it'd be. And Bear Grylls, yeah, baby,
We've got 3 questions left. All right,
perfect.
we've got time. So
Oh, 20 minutes, yeah, loads of time.
all right, we've got 20 minutes until you need to be on another
Yeah,
call.
cool.
All right, so all right, this is from Coke again. Do you think Rupert Lowe and Restore Britain are good?
Again,
You son of a bitch.
yeah,
You can answer this one.
but I mean, I think okay. Draw your own conclusions from this answer, right? Um, I am a bloody patriot. And you know what? I haven't actually looked into what Rupert Lowe and Restore Britain their policies are because I just don't have time. You know, I don't really know what's
It's
going
worth a
on.
good look.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and I'm hearing a lot of noise about it, but I get people all the time sending it to me. And you know, full disclosure on my social media, I follow, you know, the three main or what I consider to be the three main parties, so Labour, Conservative, and Reform. Um,
All basically just slightly different versions of each other, unfortunately.
yeah, and I also follow Kemi Badenoch, Keir Starmer, and Nigel Farage because otherwise, and Zia Youssef, to be fair,
Nigel Farage, previous podcast guest.
really. He's been on this podcast.
Mhm.
Wow.
Mhm. Mhm.
That maybe says what I think as well. Yeah, and I think it's important to have a broad perspective. And even that Zach Palensky, I cannot bring myself to follow him, but I feel that I need to follow him to really understand. Because I think it's important to know what everybody's opinions are. If you were to follow only all one party and their MPs, you'd be stuck in an echo chamber of algorithm that sends you only that, and your opinions are going to be skewed.
Yeah,
So yeah,
but on that, yeah, I
but
see
I
what you're
think the
saying.
pendulum is coming back the other way to normality, to sane people, and I think them parties that we're discussing are probably in the centre of where that probably is, in my opinion.
None of them will let it get back to where it should. Where it sounds like
No,
where I think it should be, or
yeah,
certainly I won't assume you think what I think.
yeah,
But one of
you're
the
absolutely definitely correct. Yeah,
one of a great piece of advice, which is probably obvious to other people, but my interest in politics has only really materialized in the last 5 years, really.
mm.
But it has gone through the roof. It's gone through the
It's
roof, right?
important to know what's
And
happening.
one of the best pieces of advice given by someone else when I was looking into this and uh, started paying attention to stuff is that you do not pay attention to what they say. It's not about what they say. It is all about what they do. They will say, they being politicians,
Mm,
they will say all the things they think they need to say to
yeah,
capture your attention
yeah,
or to attack the other party or to make
yeah,
themselves look better. It is all about what they do.
yeah,
How are they voting? What policies are they actively trying to bring about? Not what they say they're trying to bring about.
yeah, yeah.
What are they doing in their own
Mm,
constituencies? What are they doing, not what they're saying.
yeah,
Because most of them, 99.9%, say loads, do nothing.
yeah.
Say loads, do the opposite, or do things that don't marry up with what they say their
Yeah.
values are. Anyway.
Of them three parties that we're discussing, there's a red and a blue one, which I remember when I first decided to start following them, I remember looking at one of the parties and I had to comment and I was like, this is a genuine comment. Is this a parody account of this party? Because I genuinely didn't understand, because it was as if it was being ran by a 14-year-old kid, just throwing trash at one of the other parties. And then the other one, a blue one, has started doing the exact same
Yeah.
thing. And it's like,
I know it's the same thing.
and I feel like saying, like, you people are in charge of us.
It is cringeworthy,
Like,
mate. It's
I
cringeworthy.
used to watch PMQs it's probably about a month and a half ago. I had to stop watching it because I just wanted to scream at the TV. You people are in charge of us, and you're acting like
Part of the
kids.
problem with the PMQs is that because it's televised, because of the way social media is now, because of
Yeah.
politicians' intent,
Yeah.
they are saying things in there because they want the viral reel.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah,
literally acting like influencers.
Yeah.
They're acting like content creators.
Disgusting.
It is fucking
It is
disgusting.
disgusting.
And what's interesting about the social media is saying, I noticed the same thing first with Labour and then Conservatives doing the same thing. And I was like, well, what are they doing?
Hmm.
Young people seem to see straight through it.
Mm.
Seem to see straight
Do
through
you
it.
think so?
Yep.
Genuinely?
The young people I know.
Yeah, yeah,
Straight
yeah.
through it.
Okay, that's
Straight through it.
interesting.
Straight through it.
Is
Anyway,
it- yeah.
that's for the next podcast. We can
Yeah,
discuss that
yeah,
when you're
yeah.
out of the mill. Okay, 2 questions left. Let's rattle through these. Would you refuse to be friends? This is from Coke again. Would
Hey,
you
Coke.
refuse to be friends with someone who was anti-military or unpatriotic? I'll give you an example because he said it here. He says Hugh is friends with ex-para, ex-SAS, Ben Griffin, who refused to redeploy to Iraq. He said patriotism is a vile religion and that the British uniform is rancid. He actually said the last sentence on this podcast the second time he came.
Yeah, yeah. I think in business I've come across all sorts of people. And I will always listen to other people's opinions, because I think you can't just let yourself be, no, only this. Obviously, someone that I don't think I'd want to spend time with someone like that. But equally, if I was going to work with someone, it depends how open-minded they were. If they were sort of centralist but had the views of I think the military is wrong, clearly being anti-military is very bloody stupid. I mean, look at what happens to countries when they don't have strong militaries. Other countries come in and kidnap their presidents. That's what happens when you don't have a strong military. Like that's the reality.
That was mental.
That is the reality. Yeah. So it's if somebody who's anti-military,
Mental.
they're probably not very open-minded and not very, sensible. So probably wouldn't be. But that doesn't mean to say that I will always give anybody a chance. I always believe that.
Last question. To what extent do you think? To what extent do you think veteran-owned businesses should give veterans discounts for their products and support military charities? This has been something on social media quite recently. I can't remember. Oh, it was Contact Coffee posted about it actually.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
guys wanting free shit because they're going on deployment and stuff. I'm like, well,
yeah, yeah.
fucking hell, buy it.
Like, yeah, yeah. And I think there's a lot of people in the veteran community that feel like they're owed something. Whereas for me, I think it's like, well, I don't think I'm owed anything. I've gone out and bootstrapped this bloody thing all by myself. And at the beginning, the people that were supporting me were civvies. Civvies were the ones supporting me. And the most shit I get online is from veterans.
Yeah. Yeah.
95% of the shit I get online is veterans. And 95% of the people asking for probably 99% of the people asking me for discounts are veterans. 100% of the people coming to me for handouts, for free kit, free sponsorship of that, sponsorship of this, is veterans. But that's quite unfair, tarnishing veterans with that brush, because it's almost like they are the loud minority, them people. There's so many great people, and equally, some of my greatest supporters are ex-soldiers. But the majority of the hate, the negativity that I get is from the veteran community, it's really bloody sad. And it's, when veterans see veterans setting something up, they should be wanting to support it,
Absolutely.
not eating into their bottom line.
Absolutely.
Not eating into their bottom line.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. Right. This has been an excellent chat.
It really has been, isn't it?
We should do it again when you're out, mate.
Yeah, for
not
definite.
just because timelines will match up.
Well, yeah,
but,
we could just come and have a little
how
call back to some of them questions.
Yeah,
I hope you don't think anything bad about that. It's just, right now I am still a soldier, so I've got to be toe the line.
No issue whatsoever.
Good.
Okay, so tell people how they can get hold of you, follow what you're doing, go to your site and buy your shit.
Yeah, baby. So if you want to support a geezer who's come out of the military and building something genuinely British made, go to lockwoodsmocks.com. Have a look at what we've got. Follow us on social media. My stuff isn't cheap, but it is made in this country. Now, even if it's something you're hard up and it's not something you can afford, a like, a share, a comment goes further than you can possibly imagine. So go to lockwoodsmocks.com. Go to our Instagram, Lockwood Smocks, or TikTok or Facebook, and shout from the bloody rooftops. Britain is back in action, baby.
My God, that was smooth. My God, this disclaimer. He is not AI. I'm looking at him right now. He's sat across from me, like I can feel him, I can touch him. I'm not gonna, because he's just thinking crap out.
Yeah.
Dude, it's been
man.
Jacob. Honestly, it's been really good, mate. And, best of luck with the business.
Yeah,
and you're gonna smash it. You're gonna keep smashing it, and let's do it again soon.
Yeah, baby. Bloody
Cheers,
right
dude.
alive. God bless. God save the king.